I'm telling you, you can't tell.
Okay. Yo. Greetings and
Yeah.
salutations, my fellow Illumineers. It is me, your boy JDZ, and we are here for the ICL. But I'm not alone. With me in the booth, and not on the playing field. You're used to seeing this Illuminaire questing, but here he is, commentating for a change. R&B, how are you doing, my beautiful bald associate? You made me take my hat off, and I feel super insecure about it, just so you know.
I did. I made him take his hat off because, like, I even went and put on a collared shirt for you. The least you can do is we can
I
go hatless.
that I do appreciate because I'm sick of these rapscallions getting to the booth without a little bit of class. Let's clean it up, okay?
Yeah,
That's the least we
I
can do.
honestly, I was gonna go based off of what you were doing. I was ready to like don full button up dress shirt, blazer, but like, you know, here we are.
Next time. I'm sure we'll get it. But this won't be the last time. This is the first opportunity we've had to co-cast together. I'm very excited because I do enjoy
Mine too.
a little bit of broadcastery in my own private life. But have you done this before? Is this something that you are interested in trying to do in the future? Because I know you're a great player.
So I have not casted Lorcana events
Okay.
previously. I've done like a little bit of casting here and there, but I actually used to play League of Legends in like an amateur league, and I did cast League of Legends. And I don't know if you know if you've ever seen League of Legends, it's very, very fast paced. Like you're kind of talking like like really fast, like it's very high energy, high speed. So I do have some casting background previously, but no, I'm excited. You know, I love this game. I love this community. I definitely want to, you know, watch some highly competitive games of Disney Lorcana and kind of, you know, gab with my bald brethren.
Absolutely. Well, I gotta say goodbye to my own stream because I'm just finishing up a stream right now. We're gonna go coast to coast right on in here. So everyone, get on into the ICL. It's starting now. So thank you guys for coming by. I'll see you guys all tomorrow on the next broadcast. But now we are locked in, laser focus, ready to go. We have the Forbidden Mountain versus Cerberus Den. What do you think about these two teams? What do you know about Cerberus Den? What do you know about the Forbidden Mountain? Who do you think got the edge in this all important round number 2 of the ICL?
So I mean, both teams have been like I've known both of these names since the inception of Disney Lorcana. Obviously, you know TFM Dan and I, you know, we kind of go way back about like 2 months ago when we finally got to meet in person
Mm-hmm.
at North American Continentals. But you know they've been staples in the community, staples when it comes to content, staples when it comes to you know voicing the concerns that they have for the game and making sure that this is the best game. Also, like you gotta love the lore. You gotta love the you know Dick Burns, Lorcana villain lore.
Yeah.
It's so incredible. Cerberus Den. So I actually remember when Cerberus Den first became a thing. This was back in set 1, and they had a post. I think the post was on Facebook, and they
Mm-hmm.
were like, "We need all of the foil Cerberus from set 1 that we can get." And I had a few left over. You know, I tossed them in a bubble mailer and ended up sending it to them. I guess they made this like giant poster board wall
Uh-huh.
of foil Cerberuses, and I thought that was super cool. So I'm incredibly excited to see you know these two titans from you know when you think about Disney Lorcana and you think about content creation and you think about some of the first teams that really kind of stepped into the light, like these are probably like two of the first teams that ever existed in Disney Lorcana in the competitive space.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm excited. I think the players are ready, R&B. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm motivated. I think it's going to be some great games. I love me some Forbidden Mountain. Like I said, I watch their videos all the time. They're on YouTube. Make sure you guys go check them out and support them so they continue to make great content. Cerberus Den as well. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great match. Although I'm just looking at Christian Young's setup there. That's a curse setup. That is a 10 out of 10 curse right there. I don't know what's happening, but we're going to have to roll with it, I think.
I'm gonna have some neck issues by the time we're done.
For sure. But it looks like Tim Kirby is going to be on the play first, going first, starting off with a nice little ink play. Mickey, that's an indicator. What are we thinking? Blue Steel Curve? I haven't seen the deck list yet, and I don't want to spoil it. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but Sticky Mickey is typically, you know, we've seen this card come up in the Kiwi Birds, you know, Sapphire
Mm-hmm.
Steel aggro deck. You know, maybe there's a chance, maybe he's on a little bit of Kiwi Bird action. I have seen, you know, this come up in some of the more aggressive Amethyst Steel decks as well as just, I mean, his name kind of gives it all to him. Sticky Mickey. In a world where Cinderellas are kind of everywhere, singing their songs left and right, Sticky Mickey, he does a pretty good job of sticking around.
And just being able to just that resist one goes a long way. If you can get the Sticky Mickey out beside a Cogsworth, I think you're going to be in a good spot. As we looks like we have a Vision of the Future being played, so this might be some of that DKP spice, a little bit of Shark Attack, a little bit of Shark Burn, if you will. As we'll just ink another card and kick it back on over to Kirby.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if this is more the DKP, kind of tempo burn style deck, or if it's like the more traditional Sisu on ice, leveraging things like the ice block to take out, some of the more, problematic. Oh, we see an Amethyst card. We see an Amethyst card go into the Inkwell, and it looks like an Amethyst Chromacon. I think that's a Chromacon. I think it's an Amethyst Chromacon. So this is looking, we're cooking. This is shaping up to look like some Amethyst Steel, maybe aggro or hyper aggro sauce.
Which that deck is actually quite, according to DKP, that's probably one of the better matchups against his deck, if it is that matchup. So that would be a pretty favorable thing, as it seems like we got a burn for burn, perhaps. Could be the spice. A little burn match round 1 in ICL. As we're just going to quest that Mickey, kick it back on over to Christian, who is thinking about it now. You get a couple hand shuffles in, fan the hand a bit before committing another card to the Inkwell. It will be the Tipo. Never mind, we're just going to play the Tipo.
And we ink a McDuckmanor. So the McDuckmanor is actually indicative of possibly the DKP list. So we could expect to see a Shark next turn, which is as early as what we're going into turn 4 for Christian.
And there is another develop. So you are digging, trying to sculpt your hand a little bit more and hoping for maybe if you can get, I don't know what you want here. You probably want to continue that sale, maybe get another ramp piece perhaps for next turn, and then you can start setting up your bombs. Because I think this deck, it stops inking probably around, I would say 7 or 8, couple Halfargos, couple Grandma Tiles, whatever, and that's kind of where it wants to kind of put her out there. Unless you said, like you said earlier, maybe he has it built a little bit different.
Tinkerbell,
ink the Tink?
a shifted Mickey. Wait, what are we whole new worlding right now? We're whole new worlding.
Get out of here! Hold up, let me catch up. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Wait. Yo. That's a Jafar. That's a Jafar. That's a Jafar in the discard.
Is he cooking?
Oh no, he's got triple whole new world in the opener.
That's rough. That is rough. But at the same time, though, there is a little silver lining. You did lose all your whole new worlds, but your opponent did kind of trim down their hand with all the sculpting cards they've been playing. So now they're able to clear their entire hand with that single copy of whole new world that you played. Granted, it's not the most ideal thing, but it's still not the worst.
We do see a Shark that hit the bin for Christian as well. That's definitely a card that Tim does not want to see hitting the table anytime soon.
Man, you're a Jafar wheel enthusiast. What do you think about Mickey in this deck? I don't know. A lot of people have kind of gone away from the Mickey in this Jafar wheel situation, but it still seems quite good in this spot.
So we do have quite a bit of different shift lines. It's really kind of just a pick your poison, and I think that it really breaks down to what the meta is that you're expecting. If you're expecting, a high probability of a lot of Steel Song, then maybe the Mickey plan is a little bit better because both the 1-drop and the 5-drop Mickey do have resist 1. So it makes the Steel Song, a little bit more awkward on their removal. If you're not so much worried about them, then, maybe you consider some of the other shift lines that you do have available to you.
Absolutely. So now that Chromacon does make a lot more sense now, since we understand it's a Jafar wheel situation. So just adding more cards, but feeding your opponent who's playing a burn strategy just more cards as well. It seems a bit dangerous, but we're going to keep rocking with it as we slam another Mickey into the fray, pay 2 more, and then we'll go ahead and slam out a Robin Hood as well, or double Robin Hood and Jafar. Okay, so you're just going a little bit wide here. Dang, dude, this is hype, dude. What a crazy matchup to start this thing off.
Right, we're starting with some DKP spice into some Amethyst Steel Jafar wheel.
This is what you tune into. This is what you want to see for these ICL nights, man. See people out here getting crafty, showcasing their ability, getting loose. I love it.
Is this Disney Lorcana, and is this Disney Lorcana gaming in 2025? Is this what we're doing?
I think
we're just bringing all of the sauce.
Honestly, I think at the end of these sets, I think people like to start experimenting a lot more and trying new things and just trying to catch your opponent off guard, because I firmly believe that the game is not necessarily, it's nowhere near being solved at all. But I think at a certain point, people kind of know what decks are expected to do and what decks you expect to face. If you're not expecting to see a Jafar wheel, and it can absolutely clap you up, and I'm sure you know that.
Oh yeah, I have been on the receiving end of said clapping. So here's one of the things that I actually love about the set 6, Azurite Sea meta. It's very similar to the competitive meta for set 3
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that we've made it almost all the way to the end of a format. And the format's still technically not solved. There's still
Yeah,
new innovations that are happening, even, with the last couple of weeks that we have to go. We saw DKP, a month before the next set is about to come out, kind of innovate this, Ruby Sapphire burn deck that did not exist at the beginning of the format.
which is really awesome. That's my favorite aspect. I really enjoy that. As we're going to keep drawing and keep chromaconning, we'll give another card. We'll give another card up to Christian, who is got to be feeling pretty fine about that. Your board is quite robust still. You still have this Jafar. Maybe we can get a shift in on this Jafar now, and maybe that's good enough. Who knows if a half shark can come in and can engage with this Jafar as an evasive
He inks
answer,
the
which is
Jafar.
interesting indeed. It's enchanted too. Oh, we're balling on a budget. We're balling outrageous on the Jafar.
That's not a budget. We are balling with all
Yeah,
of the
no, yeah,
all of the physical dollars and cents.
we're balling outrageous, as we will hard cast to grab your swords, which actually usually doesn't get a lot of value in this matchup. Gets tremendous value there, taking out the Maui, dropping the Tipo, putting some damage on the grandma, and now you have the ability to quest a little bit more free.
So Tim's still got about 3 or 4 cards in hand. The fact that he inks the Jafar, doesn't shift to sing the grab your swords, tells me that his hand is likely full of a lot of uninkable cards, which is really
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah, that is an indicator. That sucks. Yeah, 4 uninkable cards. It's probably like some stars to the
5. It's
right.
5. There's
5.
5 cards.
Yeah, because certainly if he had another inkable card, you just ink whatever it is, shift, sing, vibrate magnificently. I think it's a play. But maybe they just don't have it. Maybe they just bricked last star to the right. What are some other uninkable cards they have? Maybe I don't know what else they would have there, but that's some unfortunate luck opening all those whole new worlds and still having a terrible uninkable situation. Just feels miserable. We've all been there though.
Yeah, so typically some of the uninkable cards that you're going to see these decks running are going to be, Fire the Cannons is a pretty good removal tool
Mm-hmm.
that I've seen. I've played in a lot of Jafar wheel lists previously in the past. Along came Zeus. Obviously, being able to answer those sharks is really important. You've got, the whole new worlds. If you're expecting, a heavy aggro meta, some number of grab your swords, potentially depending on what the 3-drop slot looks like, there could also be some Let the Storm Rages on.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's very well possible that he has a handful of uninkable cards.
Which is just the worst. But we saw that Super Goo come out and get tremendous value and a huge tempo swing, and you set up the McDuck Manor. So this is a problematic situation. That McDuck Manor gets super, super strong in this deck as you're able to just protect the castle, and that thing can just climb the lore so quickly, especially when you're drawing, especially when you just be preparing the board and just protecting. So we get another Shift Mickey here. And then you do have the Fire to Cannons. We'll be able to take down the Goofy. So you are correct. That's probably one of the cards. And we'll just go ahead and are we sending damage into this manor, or are we going to go on a quest, try to race the manor?
So here's one of the things when you do see manor come down in this matchup, you see that we've got an Amethyst deck, but this is not your traditional Amethyst deck. Most of the time, Jafar wheel decks are not going to include any copies of any of the bounce package. So you're lacking in the Fox department. You're also lacking in the Crab department. So without Fox and without Crab, this manor essentially is just going to stay in play for at least 3 turns based on the state of the current board.
Unless you made the right call and you got like a bunch of Zeuses in there, maybe that'll kind of speed up through this manor a bit. But yeah, just chunking at it with a Mickey is not the opportune thing. You can just play another one too, which feels rough. Or you play a Be Prepared. Maybe you do have the Maleficent Dragon in there. You slip some of those back in as you're getting into a dragon turn here, as you will just take another sail the other right sea. And we'll send a vision and
notably,
the popsicle. Sorry, go ahead.
Notably, because of the fact that Tim has 2 Amethyst Chromacons in play, normally you see these DKP lists that are, trying not to go over, 7, 8 ink. He can ink as much as he wants because he's going to have guaranteed card draw from his opponent's side of the board.
Oh, but he does have a little bit of spice inclusion. It looks like
Little
we got the
scar.
Scar. The Vicious Cheater is going to be added to the deck list. I believe Moyen played a version of this deck in that German tournament that happened a week or so ago. And he also played the Scar Vicious Cheater, maybe to help with the mirror or help take down enemy locations. And he's able to ready himself there after slaughtering that Mickey Mouse. So that's pretty cool little include, as we'll just take a Chromacon, probably times 2.
Oh, you never played Be Prepared copy number 5?
That guy's good. I like the Scar card too. And they
I
got
do
the
too.
popsicles too. You can scar, popsicle, scar, popsicle. It just turns into a little machine gun there, little machine gun turret. Let's go. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And now your back is still against the wall. Your hand might have been opened up a little bit with those Chromacon deployments. As
Third Jafar into the
hate,
inkwell.
hate to see it. As we'll bring out the Dreadnought, and then we'll play the fast flying Tinkerbell, and we'll probably kick it over there. So you're still going to try to race. This manor is doing a lot of heavy lifting though, in the interim, as another manor here could be absolutely devastating. To your point, you just don't really have a lot of ways to interact with these locations, as Christian is going to be feeling the pressure starting to mount, or excuse me, as Tim, I should say, is going to be starting to feel the pressure a little bit.
Even worse than a manor here, I would. Oh,
Ooh.
he's running a Be Prepared out that he gets to sing for free equity and gets to get all this ink to spend. If we do see any more McDuck Manors drop here, I think it's going to be lights out. I think it's curtains.
That is
Oh,
yeah. That's the worst case scenario right there. As you get the shark and the manor deployed in the same turn, and now you got a serious clock, and you have a huge threat. A pirate's life is also quite vicious in these moments as well. So, sorry,
yeah,
you got free real estate. Sorry.
Tim needs to top deck a card that does not exist in the game. Banish all characters and locations in play. Instead, we're gonna be sending 2 more cards over to Christian's hand.
And that sucks, man. When you're down bad, you got to just keep chromaconing and just keep fueling the fire. That's going to make them so much closer to the Pirate's Life, and then they can play another Maui Half Shark, sing Pirate's Life, and you're just like, man, how can I come back from this? And it's probably just not possible, as you're going to continue to slam these Jafars in, and you bring out Robin Hood, full retail value for that as well. And maybe this could be the start of a comeback. Who knows? Along Came Zeus does exist. Maybe you play it as you're gaining 4. This is a mess.
Yeah, Christian going up to 12 at the start of his turn. We could see this being the final turn of the game, depending on how many of Pirate's Life Christian has in hand. He could establish a second Maui Shark, each one of those Pirate's Life hitting for 4.
Oh, and it's happening. Oh no, don't sing.
It's happening. It's
Yo
happening.
ho, not yo ho. Please, not Vision. Oh, we can dig for it.
Vision.
Oh, and you get another gain 2 as well. Yeah, this could be
curtains.
Yeah. We'll see what we get here.
Yeah, if say he visions into a Develop Your Brain, into another visions, the chain kind of keeps going. And now every single one of the spells in Christian's deck hand are now just gathering knowledge and wisdoms.
Insane. What were they thinking when they printed this?
Second visions.
What were they thinking when they printed this Maui Half Shark? This card is too strong, man. And this is just not a good spot to be in. So yeah, ink and develop and then sing if you felt so inclined. And that the game is just over. And you just got to kind of sit here and watch it.
He's literally just digging for the Pirate's Life. The Maui Shark can actually sing the Pirate's Life. He gains 4, his opponent loses 2. He goes to 20, and that's all she wrote. How far I'll go.
Okay.
We're still going to 18, though.
And now you have to pass your next. Even if you've passed here, this is all still super strong, because you're going to have to take out 2 locations, 2 evasive characters with 7/5. And I just don't think the cards exist in the game to be able to do that. You do play that one Aladdin. Can't that do something? The guy, the discarded location guy. Can't that? No, I don't even think that's enough at this point. But
it's on Quest.
It's on Quest.
On Quest, and I believe it only hits items.
Okay. What is the one? Yeah. Why do you? I get that guy mixed up. You have to discard a location.
Yeah, you're thinking of Wreck-It Ralph.
But he's on Quest too, right? The ham hand.
He is also on Quest.
That just takes me back, dude. They really cooked us on that one. He should be on demand as well. We need him on impact doing that.
He could have been inkable. He's a 4/4.
Yeah. That's a miss.
He could have.
I
wanted to play some ham hands, man.
Me too. You can't even
see these hands. These are also ham hands. I wanted to play some ham hands.
Dude, you're killing me, dude. It's so good. It's so good. R&B, baby. We need to get you back into the booth. You need to just retire and come back in and just hop into the booth. You're too good for it. You're so funny. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, this
But
is what happens when you put two ball brains together.
I love it. But it was still, I mean, I'm sure Christian enjoyed the way that went down and wants to kind of deploy that same strategy again. But Tim had some unfortunate luck. You're playing a Jafar wheel and you lose all your wheels at the very, very beginning of the game. Seems quite miserable. So hopefully you're hoping you don't freaking stack yourself negatively again and you can get some decent cards and come back in for a nice game too. I would love to see this go to a game 3. So I'm fully rooting for Tim in this one. What do you think the path to victory is for Tim on this one, R&B?
So a couple different things. Number one, don't have 3 wheels in your opening hand. Number
Okay.
2, don't ink 3 of your Jafars. number 3. So I think that the Amethyst Chromacon in this matchup is actually more of a detriment than a help. I think being very reserved on when you play it and even when you activate it. Just because you have an Amethyst Chromacon in play does not mean that you need to activate it every single turn.
Right.
You need to kind of mitigate the amount of resources that you're giving Christian to play with, because this deck can stumble. It can get to a point where, it's ramped up. It doesn't have the payoff. It doesn't have the card draw. It's got the ink in play, but I've got 1 or 2, maybe 2 cards in hand. I've got no way to continue to cycle cards. Tim really needs to get to the board early, get an early shift line, potentially sing an early Whole New World to kind of stymie the ramping plans that Christian has, and just be a little bit more mindful about giving Christian free resources in their hand.
I would hope. I didn't see the deck list. I should probably look it up. I'm sure I can find it. But I don't know if this deck is playing Pete. I think you got to lean heavy on those Petes. Get those bad boys working for you. I think Whole New World is actually quite strong in this matchup. I still think it's quite good. Just being able to throw your opponent off, especially like you said, if you can shift, sing it, get it down at a timely manner. As after they play a vision or if they play a develop your brain, get some juicy cards in their hand and they're trying to save for the right ink amount, and then you just blow them out with the Whole New World. I think that might be okay. So we'll see how it goes this time. Hopefully Tim can have a better performance, because that just didn't go the way that you wanted to go on that first round. But it happens like that sometimes. I'm sure we all know. We've all been there.
I actually think that specifically for the DKP, Ruby Sapphire list, that's a list you don't actually want to a Whole New World. Now, the more traditional Sisu and Ice, absolutely, because they have all of the Hyrams. They've got a ton of items. They've got a ton of ways that they can keep their hand really, really healthy. We've seen, and I'm looking here at Christian's ICL list. There's only 3 Hyrams, and do you know how many items we have in the entire list?
Oh, it's just 4.
It's just 4. It's just 4. So
and there's one right there too. You got one popsicle and 1 Hiram in the inkwell. So now we just got 2 and 3 left in the deck. So maybe I don't know. I mean, if you guys just catch them slipping though, maybe you can get a nice little timely shift. You still can get some plus value out of it, maybe. But I don't know. I'll lean on you. You're probably absolutely correct. Is that the Floodborn Fairy? Blue Fairy. Let's go. Let's go.
That is in fact Blue Fairy.
Let's
go. 1/1 evasive, quest for 1. Whenever you play a Floodborn, you get to draw a card.
I'm with that. I like this. I'm actually kind of the Christian's setup is kind of growing on me too. It's kind of making me feel interactive in the game a bit. Like it's kind of like he's upside down. I'm feeling it. It's growing on me a bit as we will hit the ramp on Tipo, just like you want to do. The Blue Fairy. Let's see if we can get some value out of this Blue Fairy here on the next turn. And it looks like we will go for 3. And we got the Fast Flyer back out again. Tinkerbell, as we'll quest the evasive Blue Fairy and kick it back on over to a little vulnerable Tipo boy. How do you feel about Tipo?
We could have.
Oh, sorry.
I love Tipo. Tipo's a great card. You're talking to the wrong one. I know. I know where you stand on Tipo growing boy, but your boy bleeds blue.
Okay.
So
I mean, I'm not the effect. I just hate Tipo. I hate the fact that it is Tipo. It should have been somebody else. The card's too good to be Tipo. No offense to Tipo. Tipo should have been vanilla.
What did this little child do to you?
I just want every time I see Tipo, I want to go off the top rope, elbow drop Tipo right in the back of his head, dude. Every time I see him, I just want to leg drop Tipo and just finish him off like Hulk Hogan, dude. I'm so sick of him. As we get a deep think, we'll put Tipo into the inkwell. Probably going for a 4 cost, maybe another Hiram, maybe another Grand Matala. Let's see.
So, I mean, one of the things that I actually like is if we do see that Tim, ends up adjusting their game plan, they could just go for this, evasive aggro strategy.
Mm,
Establish a couple flyers in the air. Christian's deck does not have big Sisus in it.
okay.
Doesn't have big Sisus in it. It's got sharks. Sharks can
Yeah.
attack evasive characters, but you can get quite a bit of lore in there before the shark ends up coming down.
Oh, 100%. And that was evident by that brawl being played. You had to take a little down tempo turn just to get the brawl deployed, to get that fast flyer off the board.
Oh, we've got
And
a
now we
Jafar.
got a combination before the Blue Fairy gets a draw in here too. And we'll continue the evasive questing plan as Blue Fairy goes for another one. You got a long way to go, but this is a good start. And now you're kind of setting yourself up for a Jafar Will. If you got full combo in hand, next turn you can deploy. If you got the right ink, this could be something. We'll see.
It could indubitably be something.
This could happen, and we're going to go ahead and take another sale, or excuse me, the how far I'll go. Not being saying, which is still a vibe. You're liking this. If you're Tim, you're liking this.
Yeah,
Right?
we're loving it. We're in a great spot.
Yeah.
He still has a pretty healthy hand too, so he doesn't even necessarily have to fire off the whole new world. He could shift and maybe sing a Friends on the Other Side to draw 2 more cards. He gets to draw a card off of the Blue Fairy trigger as well. He could then establish maybe some other threats next turn so that he could go for the double wheel line to try to win in one turn.
I like it. Okay, he got a chance to do it, so it could happen. Let's go. Do you all believe at home? I'm big game 3 energy right here. Let's see if Tim can pull it off. Can you do it? Will we make it happen?
I am a believer.
Let's make it happen. As you're thinking long and hard about this, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the books might be cooked. As we will put another card to the inkwell. It is the Blue Fairy. That gets you up to 5. We can shift 5 here.
Does he have it?
We're tapping 5.
Oh, that's 5. That's 5.
Oh,
he's
no,
hard casting a whole new world.
Oh,
No.
Bricked again.
Oh, no. His hand is bricked again.
Jeez Louise. You got to talk to the deck editor. You got to talk to the shuffler. What's happening with these?
The shuffler's rigged, man. These grab your swords are sticking together. They got peanut butter stuck to the back of the cards.
Dang, man. Oh, it is what it is. So you do have to take a turn off, and you will replenish your opponent's hand. You'll get another quest in with the Blue Fairy, and maybe this could be strong.
2 Maui Sharks, though.
Oh, that's a good sign. It was 2 Maui Sharks in the discard. That's a good sign. So it's not completely over. You still have a new replenished hand. Maybe next turn you can pull it off. As I'm all in on this Jafar Will situation, you're only going up to. We got a sale here, so you're only going to be able to be prepared the board next turn. So is that even good? I don't know. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm sweating over here. Got me sweating as we continue to draw more cards with the sales. You have the ability to put quite a few cards down to your inkwell this turn. Felt so inclined.
3.
Yeah,
he can put 3. He can put 3 cards in it. He's got a third sale in his hand too. So Christian might be prepping for I think it's pretty likely that Tim might have found the Jafar plus the whole new world to be able to combo next turn. And he doesn't have an answer for this 4-drop Jafar in play currently. So he may be saying, you know what? Let me go ahead. Let me ink my entire hand, get this really big, ink lead ahead of my opponent. And when he wheels me with a fresh new hand, then I can start taking a look at some of the removal options that I have. And then Tim could just say, I don't know where your hand went, but I've got 7 cards. I can just play the mid-range game and, continue to tick up my lore.
I think that was an incredible rampant. I think he saw all 4 sales and he played 3 of them.
It was a lot of sales.
That was a lot of sales, and 1 got inked and 3 got played, I believe. And How Far I'll Go got deployed. So he just went from 6 ink all the way up to. You're not kidding.
Like 10? 10 ink? 9, 10
11 ink?
How many cards? How many cards are in Christian's hand, though, is the real question. If Christian only has 1 or 2 cards, we're probably never wheeling. We're not wheeling until we're winning off of the wheel.
Okay, you're not. Don't wheel until you can win. I just want to send it, dude. I will get that evasive body out here right now. But be prepared as inbound next turn.
3 or 4 cards in hand.
And we got the Chromacon. We're doing this again with the Chromacon, as we will add another card to the hand. This is just so disappointing. I'm so sad. As we will put the Tinkerbell into the inkwell, go up to 6. Is it time? I think it's time. We got 5.
Only 4. Going for 3. Maybe a Pete. Okay, we've got a Pete. Pete is very, very good in this matchup just because of the fact that your opponent, they're 3/4 of their deck are actions.
Yeah. So you don't get be prepared next turn, and you do have your Chromacon established. So if you do go Jafar, that can give you 7+1, and now Pete set up to sing another drawing card. So this could be a magnetic turn next turn if it works out for you. But we'll see, as Hiram is going to come on out and just do a little bit of Hiram munching on this popsicle. Dang. How many cards are there? There's still quite a few cards left in hand, I think, from Christian's side as well. And Maui is just out just to kind of prevent another discard situation, kind of check the board a little bit. And this is it. Can it happen? Is it going to happen? We're all on bated breath. We all want to see this go down. You do have the opportunity to go for another tap on the Chromacon, and you do so. Dang, are you still Chromaconing at this point, or do you? I guess it matters what's in the hand.
Yeah, it does matter what's in the hand, but like I said, I think that this is one of the few matchups where, cards like Chromacon, cards like A Whole New World are not necessarily something you want to do. Christian is going to be able to leverage, massive Inkwell to his advantage, and giving him extra cards to get the ink up and also get the cards that just tick down your lore all the way, every step of the way. Is I would want to go for more kind of like the plan that he's got right now, where he's very, mid-range onto the board, try to win through questing, play a couple of Petes to stop the B preps.
And that is a Yzma. That's the Floodborn Yzma, I believe. And you give your opponent more cards. And I think maybe you're thinking of also, let's talk about the contingency of the contingency plan deck out. This DKP deck can go through itself pretty quick too, with all the digging and all the whatnot and henceforth. And you could just go for a whole new plan. A mill plan is also an option. So you're probably going to get Be Prepared into the Stone Age this next turn. But it was a vibe. It was energy while it lasted. And you're going to hope that this doesn't happen to you, as you're going to pass there with a pretty sizable board. No Pete protection this time. And it looks like you're probably going to lose it all if things go the way that they often do with all those cards in hand.
If Christian doesn't have the B prep here, we could see Tim go for ending the game next turn. He's already at 7 lore. All he needs to do is shift the Jafar, sing A Whole New World, find another Whole New World, and either shift onto the Mickey or use the Yzma to sing another Whole New World, and the game's just over. It's done. That's it. He's at 21.
There's no chance.
It's looking like a B prep. It's looking like a B
prep. It's feeling very preppy. I'm feeling
very Abercrombie and Fitch right now.
Hold up. That wasn't 07. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and yeet this whole board right out of here. And I'm sure Tim felt that coming. I mean, you know how the game's playing. It's going to happen more often than not. As we're going to
How many McDuck Manors are coming down next, though? That's the real question. How many McDuck Manors?
How much real estate?
Just one.
Right now it's just one. But I think next turn we might see a playset of McDuck Manors. Just looking at that Inkwell, it is robust. Okay, this thing is massive at 14.
And he does indeed have a lot of ink. 14 of them, to be exact.
And we're still drawn with the Chromacon, so I think that deck out plan might be coming, or the mill out plan might be coming a little closer to relevancy, as we will just play
that's a big one.
Jafar. He's out there. He's free and clear. It's not over.
It's not over. These newer DKP style decks, they only run, one piece of actual spot removal and let it go to be able to answer this. If he doesn't have the let it go in hand right now, Tim could just sing Whole New World and then hard cast a second Whole New World. The game's over. It's done. We're going to game 3.
And
I want game 3.
I want game 3 so bad. Like I am so biased. I want a game 3 so bad. I want to see this Jafar Wheel deck pop off. I love DKP's deck. I love red blue, but I really want to see this wheel deck pop off. Because I'm always
going to root for the underdog.
Always. Spice to the max every time, every single time. But it could. I mean, maybe at the pace at which Christian is playing, maybe they might start to. Maybe they're feeling a little bit vulnerable and they're looking for the answers here. You might have to prep this situation.
We're digging.
You might have to prep this right now.
If you don't, you could just lose.
Yeah, I think you have to respect it that much that you might have to blast to Be Prepared.
Second vision. He visions into a visions. There's so much future that he can see.
You're digging. He definitely has another be prepared. He might, unless the deck can play Dragon too. I think this one might not be the DKP's list exactly. They can play Maleficent Dragon. I think you have enough ink to deploy it as well, if you felt so inclined. Or you might have to just blow it up with the be prepared here, as we'll ink a Maui Half Shark.
Oh, hear it all.
Or Maui here. I'm here it all. I'm sorry. My bad. My vision. My
That's the
vision.
hero.
I got no vision.
Well, you just got to do this, and we're into how far I'll go now. He is the fact that Christian has been able to look at like 13 cards of his deck this turn. He might as well.
And he plays a manner, so he doesn't have the ink to be prepared or clear this thing. And you're gonna pass. It might be happening.
We have a chance. We have a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance. Wake up, mom. It might be happening. As Jafar, I'd be shaking with anticipation. As it looks like Tim is cool as a cucumber. We're singing something. We're singing. Tim's cool as a cucumber, though. My hand will be shaking, and we're going to get a quick add one. You know, he
turned it sideways.
Did he quest? Oh, that is so disappointing. Oh, no, not like this. Please, not like this.
He quested, and then he drew off the Chromacon. He should have gained another lore.
He's Zeus. Oh, he had challenged. I think he challenged the location. He did have the wheel. Oh no,
he might be hard casting the wheel. If he hard cast a wheel here, there's no reason you shouldn't have just went for the game. He's not wheeling.
He doesn't have it. Oh my goodness, he just does not have it. You know, be prepared is coming now. The luck just is not with Tim today. The luck of the Irish is just not on your side today, because that just seems like I don't know. It just seems very, very odd that didn't happen the way that you wanted it to in that situation. But you know, you're just managing the tilt, and hopefully it works out. No heart of the cards, but still, if you can just fade another be prepared, you did it once. Maybe they cut some of the be prepared out of the deck at this point. And no, they didn't.
There's the be prep too. Ooh. Now it's gotten twice the amount of value. This McDuck Manor is not going anywhere.
And maybe it gets more manors coming in.
It's about to be a McDuck mansion up in here.
You can still play a sizable turn too with the amount of ink that you have acquired. Holy moly! It looks like we're tapping. We're doing it.
Oh my! That's the last thing you want to see when you have no characters on board. Your opponent with more real estate than 21st Century.
Oh man, not like this, dude. It's only a matter of time. It's hilarious, says Dick Byrne. As Dick Burns is popping off in the chat already. Dang. Goodness gracious. 1, 2, 3. You knew it was coming, man. And this is just a really strong spot. But you still have this outside deck out strategy. I think it's not. I'm looking at the list. I'm looking at the card pile you have there. It seems small. It doesn't seem like a lot of cards are left in the deck. I don't think there's more than 14 cards left in this deck, as you are flooding the board. It's telling your opponent, draw another, be prepared now, or I'm going to be able to maybe shift wheel here, quest Magnificent, and get out of here. It's not over.
We've also put a couple of Jafars into the inkwell this game too, so
that casual dude, just sitting back and casually just collecting 6 ROI on your real estate, dude. Just landlording for 6 is insane, R&B. Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm realizing right now?
What's that?
Christian has elected into the Chromacon over Friends on the other side. There is no Friends on the other side in this deck.
I don't agree with that. I don't concur with that. Thoughts on that? What are your thoughts?
No comment.
No comment. Okay. I mean, you can concur or not concur. I mean, this is just your opinion. I just don't concur. I think Friends is too good.
Friends is way too good with Jafar.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute necessity.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to eke out, like, because you're not always going to have shift wheel. You're just not always going to have it. So in the games where you don't have it, you need for your cards to draw more cards.
Yeah.
So cards like Chernobog's Followers, Friends on the other side, possibly even the Chromacon, Blue Fairy. Like, these are cards that your whole deck needs to have this innate ability to draw at any stage of the game. And I'm not seeing it with, things like the Sticky Mickeys and the Robin Hoods.
Mm. And we do get a little Pirate's Life situation here. So we do have game imminent on board next turn. These McDuck Manors are filthy ridiculous, dude. So this is it. This is your one last shot. You gotta put it together right now. whatever's going to happen, it needs to happen right now. You got a couple opportunities to make it happen. Let's see if you can do it. As you're going to go ahead and Chromacon up, you get another card. Can you make it happen? Do you believe?
Quick, find a whole new world, play whole new world.
You gotta play it.
Find a second whole new world, play whole new world. Hopefully he has less than 14 cards left in deck.
And you just throw it
he
down.
He doesn't have it.
Oh my goodness. What is the hand?
Christian's going to take it 2-0.
That is not cash money. Can you Yzma your own stuff?
Absolutely. Yzma can hit anything.
I think Yzma was in hand.
Yours, your opponent.
Ah, that just feels so bad. And again, taking nothing away from Christian, but Tim, I think your deck just failed to function there a bit. It came disjointed, and that's what combo decks typically happens from time to time. But man, oh man. But we got the players coming in. We're gonna get some interviews done. R&B, you ready to do this?
I'm ready, baby.
All right. Gentlemen, we have Christian, we have Tim. Congratulations for your victory, Christian. I thought it was really well done, really well executed. I noticed you were playing the DKP style strategy. You want to talk about that deck real quick? What made you bring that to the ICL for this all-important round number 2?
Yeah. It's funny that you said all-important round. It's going to make it sound terrible for me, but so I played a lot of Ruby Sapphire. It's my favorite deck of the format, and I usually play the Ice Block, C1 Ice build. That's usually what I prefer to play, but with it kind of being, end of the season here, I never got a chance to try this build. Maui Shark's one of my favorite cards. I'm like, I really got to try this. And I did a couple of practice hands before this with my wife. I'm like, this deck is ridiculous. I'm excited to play it today.
Absolutely.
So that was my biggest reason for bringing it today. Was not expecting Jafar Wheel as my matchup. That was really interesting to go into. I actually don't think super favored into it if the plan, if everything goes according to plan. So I was fortunate that the whole new worlds didn't come when they Tim needed them, so.
Absolutely. They did come a bit disjointed, but I thought your strategy was good and I thought you played it very well. R&B, you got anything you want to ask before? Because I know I jump in and take all the questions all the time, and I want to get out of that habit. We got R&B in the booth as well.
It's okay, brother. You had the higher rank than I did, so
no.
So Tim, I have a question for game 1. There was a turn where you had inked a Jafar, you had a Jafar in play, and you hard cast a Grab Your Swords. Tell me, was your entire hand uninkable? Because you had 5 cards in hand at that point.
So it wasn't all uninkable. I actually had a second Shift Jafar in hand. The problem is, like, if he ends up playing like the Be Prepared and I lose, essentially I ink a Jafar, play a Jafar, I end up losing like a lot of tempo if he plays Be Prepared, and I basically lose 2 Jafars. And at that point I'm obviously down on nothing. And then I have to rebuild from there. So if I can at least like kind of bait him to use a Be Prepared when he's on an empty board, it makes more sense to then like try to crawl back in using Jafar as like a way to get back into the game. So I just have to keep the one in hand. I did have mostly uninkables, to be fair.
Yeah, I saw when you wheeled, 2 more wheels hit the bin, and
yeah,
I've been there. I have played Jafar wheel.
It's the steel classic. You always have more wheels than you want when you don't need them.
Absolutely. Is that a deck that you've been playing this set, or is this something just working in for the end of set 6, just trying to try some spice out? Jafar wheel, bringing it to this tournament.
So I've actually I was playing back in set 2, like the Ruby Amethyst meta. I was basically very proficient at the Ruby Amethyst deck when that was like the best deck in the game. I was playing it even into set 3 for a little while, and I was like, well, this deck isn't as fun as it used to be. I want to switch it up a little bit. And I was trying a couple different decks, just kind of jumping around, seeing what works, and I ended up just really meshing well with Jafar. Just the combo nature of it and how swingy it can be. It was just like super fun. So I basically ran it in set 3 all the way till now. It's basically the main deck that I play. It's what I'm known for in the local scene.
Okay.
So it's a little spicy. Awesome. So I thought it would be a good time to showcase it on stream.
Absolutely. You had a lot of fans. I was personally rooting for you because I just wanted to see it pop off, and I wanted to see a game number 3. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way because you got Christian there hooking you up with those manners. Christian, can you talk about the plan?
Yeah.
Was that when you realized you were playing against Jafar Will, was that a part of the strategy? It's like, okay, I'm just gonna hang back, hang loose, set up these manners, and just kind of ride these things to victory because it happened in both games. You had a full bounty of real estate set up on the board, and your opponent had really no way
Mhm.
to engage with those.
Yeah, it really is kind of the main plan. Like I said, I think this list in particular isn't actually like not really favored into Jafar Wheel because like
Hmm.
we don't have ice blocks, and a lot of the shift targets for Jafar have 3 attacks. So like my brawls were utterly useless. I don't have dragons in the deck.
Mm,
Let it go. I have one let it go as my only spot removal. If he like hard slams the big Jafar, other than like be prepared, right? Which so a lot of my game plan was all right. He's a whole new world deck. As soon as I saw the Jafar or I saw the Mickey, I think it was like the Mickey turn one, but I think
Yeah,
you inked a
yeah.
blue fairy right away. I'm like, oh, this is Jafar. Oh god, this is Jafar. So right away I'm like, I gotta ink. So my main goal was actually to try to like accept that I probably will not if he curves into Shift Jafar Sing Hole in the World, I probably won't be able to stop it very efficiently. So my best plan is just to get as much ink as I can right off the bat and try to leverage my ink advantage throughout most of the game when he gives me a new grip of cards. We kind of saw that in game two where my when he Hole in the World in me, I opened with 3 Sail, 2 How Far
mm.
I'll Go, 2 Pirate's Life, and I think of Visions. I'm like, well, I guess I'll do this, right? Inked like five,
You
six
went from
times or
7 to
whatever.
like
It ended up
12,
paying off.
7 to 11 ink in one turn. I was like,
Yeah,
wait, what just happened?
that was pretty
Uh, we're
good.
we're playing blue. That's what we were doing. That's all.
Absolutely,
Like I don't have a character. Well, at least I'm gonna have a bigger ink pool than him, and hope for the
absolutely,
best. There was like one turn where I had to dig for another Be Prepared because he got rid of one and 2 sharks in that first wheel in game two. It was really brutal.
absolutely.
After I saw those 2 sharks go, I'm like, I have to use his manners as best as I can and hope doesn't wheel them out of my hand. Because this deck
And
doesn't have as many like ways to close the game out as efficiently once the sharks and the manners are gone.
okay, okay. Well, I thought from the booth, I thought you guys both played it very well. It seemed like Tim just had a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. He had some opportunities.
Yeah.
The deck just didn't coordinate with him as much as he would have liked. But I still had a great time watching. I'm glad you guys came out and participated. But we're gonna get round number two started. I'm gonna let you guys get back with your teams to start
Yeah.
hosting up and getting and cheering you
Yep.
guys on. But I gotta ask one more thing, Christian. Your setup though. What's up with that? What's happening there? What is that? Can you just walk us through what your setup is right now? You're
Yeah,
you're like
absolutely.
upside down.
I usually play on my kitchen table,
Okay.
but that was commandeered by my kids.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't clean this in time. I'm like, I'll use
I,
my work desk. Oh no, my work desk is puny. So we'll set this up here. But it ended up. I appreciate you all working with me and suffering through. I tried to get as
no.
best I could with the angle here. I got my air fryer that I wanted my local event here with me for give me good luck here cooking up all the Cerberus
Let's
for the
go.
event here. Thankfully,
Let's go. I
yep.
like it.
So yeah, we're
Well,
gonna
well,
put the
thank.
deck back where it belongs, right here.
Well, thanks for making it happen. We appreciate the ingenuity. Ingenuity. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it's ingenuity, right? That's the word.
Desperation.
Yeah, there you go. We like that. Any shout outs you guys want to give
Yeah.
before we get your round two going? We'll start with you,
Uh,
Tim. Any shout outs you want to give before we sign it off and get the next round going?
I would just say shout out to the Cerberus Den team. There's an awesome community down there. I'm really glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely. How about you, Christian?
Yeah, of course, I got to shout out to the Forbidden Mountain. Love those guys. I've known them for a long time. Know Dan for a lot of time in different games. So I was happy to help out here when I can. And shout out to my wife. I know she's watching, cheering me on at work when she probably shouldn't be listening to this. But I appreciate you, babe.
Oh, much love. You can't do it without the spouses, man. Well, good luck to you both. I
Right.
hope you just cheer your team on, and maybe we'll see you guys back at it again in the next round. Thanks for playing and thanks for your participation.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
All right, all right, all right. Let's go. Let's go. GG round number one in the book. It was a good one. We had a spice factory, and I gotta say so much, R&B. Thank you for joining me. This was so much fun. You had me laughing so much, my freaking face is hurting, dude. You were too funny, and you're really, really good at this too. So I would love to do this with you again if you have time. I'm gonna be doing ICL. If you have time, come on back in and do some more. I really had a good time. But everyone knows you R&B. But where can we find you if I need more R&B? You want to talk about Maelstrom? This is your chance. Let's let us know. Okay. Okay. R&B. We gotta unmute. Say that one more time.
Yeah. The bouncing back and forth between the two things, that messed me up. So what I said was really funny, but you didn't hear it. I said, yeah, you know me, you could throw up the bald signal. If you pop into a Discord, you say the word bald, there's like a strong likelihood that I'm going to show up and appear. You could also like walk out your front door and be like bald, and I'll like peek out from behind a tree and be like, did someone call? Did someone say my name? Or you could just say Blue Steel, and there's like a likelihood that I'll show up.
Okay.
Or
Absolutely.
you can follow me on Twitter, R&B, all that good jazz. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Discord. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on YouTube. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere and nowhere.
Dude, you're killing me, dude. R&B, man. It's much love. And you guys know me, JDZ Quest, man. We'll be back. We'll be back until next time. But we got a special treat coming up. We got Rebecca Quest coming in. I don't know who you paired with. Who you paired with, Rebecca? Can you hear me? Can she hear? She's paired with. I can't hear. Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can hear. I can't hear. I'm trying to hear. I'm deaf and it's just kicking me out. On my side?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
No,
There
it's
it
my
is.
side. There it is.
Gotcha.
There are so many buttons to push.
They make. I mean, Wonderland makes it look so easy, but it's like a whole orchestra happening behind.
It really is an orchestra. Yeah. And Wonderland is going to be actually joining me for round 2. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, I will wish you guys adieu. I'm JDZ Quest. I'm on Twitch. I'm everywhere. Hopefully you guys have a great match. I'm going to hop into the stands and watch. And good luck to both of you. I know it's going to be great. So it's going to be an exciting match. ICL round number 2 underway. I'm JDZ Quest. I'm out. Peace.
Peace out. JDZ is so awesome. And JDZ is also he has made his way over to Instagram. That's where I mostly hang out, and he's been putting out some really great content on Instagram. So give him a follow if you're over there. Hey, I guess. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm just so used to sitting in the background watching other people do the hard work, and I was like, no, I've got to do some more casting.
You got to do some work, not like you have a million other things you're orchestrating behind the scenes to make this all happen, which is fantastic.
So you're gonna have to carry me a few times. You're just gonna see me like look over to the right for like 30 seconds, and it's just gonna be me trying to figure out what's about to happen.
Well, we have round 2 about to happen.
Yes. And we're just waiting a few minutes for them to set up their cameras, and then we'll be able to get going. So how's it feel to be in the casting booth again?
Hey, it feels great. My ICL debut. I'm very excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
Oh, we're super excited you're able to finally join us.
Yeah. Oh man, and it's so fun. It's been a while since, as you all know, it's been a while since the last event.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to take a look at some fun games and do some casting with y'all. And 2 great teams.
Oh yeah, some fantastic teams. I'll pull up some player cards while we wait for the round 2. If I can remember who's playing in round 2, I do believe we have Tim. We have Dundee playing on
Yes, for Team Cerberus Den. Yes.
If I can click this button here, we get to see the lovely player cards that Katie made for us.
I love them.
The Lore Keeper's in. Yeah, so Dundee here has topped the DLC in Vegas 128. He got first place at a 2K and No Limits, and top 4 at the SCG Columbus 1K. Pretty impressive.
Fabulous. And who do we have for Forbidden Mountain?
Oh, one of my favorite players. I won't lie, I'm a little biased.
Oh, Melissa.
I'm a big fan of Lizard Kitty for sure.
Yes.
Top 8'd, 2 DLC day 2 or top 28s, Chicago and Dallas. I do believe those are Let It Go winnings, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And then an SCG 5K got second place there just recently. Really good showing. I don't know if you were able to watch that or not, but
I didn't, no. And I haven't had a chance to meet Dundee in person, but I've met Melissa, and she is a wonderful human, and a fantastic player. So this will definitely be a fun showdown. And it was
JDZ just said you're his cousin.
oh yes, the last name.
Oh yes, that's right.
Distant relations. Also, you're still JDZ Quest. It looks like on screen. Did you know that? Yeah.
No,
Oh.
I'm like I said earlier, I'm bad at my job. Oh, that's your name. There we go.
I like
Much
the
better.
little stars that you put next to my name too. Very
I was-
sparkly looking. Yes.
I was wondering if when I copied your name that had the stars out of Discord, if it was
Oh, that
actually going
might
to
have
paste that in
been.
OBS, and it did. So
And it did.
I was happy
Fabulous.
about that.
That's really great. I
Right.
like some good stars and emojis and things.
I'm gonna see. I'll be right back.
What are we waiting on?
Looks like we're having some camera difficulties right now, so we're gonna try to get that taken care of at the moment. I've always been on the spot where I tell other casters to just talk into dead air, and not realizing how difficult it can actually be.
It can actually be. Yes. Well, I don't know if we can talk about what decks are coming up in more general terms, or what
You
we might
can
be
if you'd like.
seeing. Yeah. I mean, we can talk about this matchup and kind of what you're going to expect to see. How about that? So we have a Ruby Amethyst facing off with an Amethyst Steel. What are your thoughts about how this matchup might go down?
Well, Lizard Kitty is playing what she's been playing quite a bit recently. I think a lot of people probably assumed what it was going to be, but the Amethyst Steel dock, she's been doing very well with it. It's what she was a finalist with. I also have played quite a bit of dock. I'm a big fan of it. It's just super fun and it gets going. I'm trying not to say exactly what card she's playing in her deck. I
Sure.
obviously said dock,
Yep.
but I think anyone who knows Melissa is going to know that that's there. And
Yeah.
then Dundee is on just a pretty typical Ruby Amethyst list. It does look to be it's almost a mix of previous and future tech all mixed together, right? Like we have
Yeah.
all sorts of fun things. So if you play a lot of Ruby Amethyst, like anything, it's all in this list.
It's all in there. Yeah. It's all in there. I think people might argue one way or another for maybe some of the splits that that he has in the list, but it's pretty typical. All the tools that Ruby Amethyst players are playing right now. Of course, things are going to shake up quite a lot with the next set. Now that we have the whole Arcasia's Island release, man, I feel like there's going to be a lot of shakeups with the meta.
Lots of amazing spoilers, lots of cards spoiled. A lot of people might be starting to doom and gloom. Quite a few good Sapphire cards got shown.
So
and
many.
With Sapphire, Ruby already being at the top.
Yeah. Oh, what's one of your favorite cards that you saw being revealed so far?
Put me on the spot. I mean, I really like the Smee. I didn't care for him at first, but then I was just like, combo pirates, let's go.
Oh, the Emerald Steel, the dual ink one. Yeah. I even this last set, I feel like the Emerald Steel Pirates build was super fun. I have a friend who was playing a lot of that, and it's a great deck, and it got the Emerald Steel, got some fun new tools, including that Smee. Yeah, so that'll be a really fun addition. I'm really excited about all the puppy cards. I can't tell you how excited I am about the puppies.
Some of them are really good. I just wish there was a little bit more assistance on the puppies.
On the puppies, yeah.
Or
one day we'll have a puppy deck, in top 8 out there.
Like the Pongo is very powerful. Being able to play a free puppy from your ink
Inkwell, yeah,
super
powerful.
Powerful.
And such an interesting because that's something new that we haven't seen in the game yet. So that's really fun to see. Hey, we have some players.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go now.
I love Lizard Kitty's mat that she has there. That's super fun. And then of course that Stitch champion mat over on Dundee's side.
It's really neat. And I think they're getting ready to go, although I should probably change the game count.
Yes. Yep.
They don't just start with a single thing. Eventually, I'll be good enough at OBS that I'll have a different scene for every round, so I can just click one button and swap it
One
over.
button.
But instead, I'm changing like 10 buttons each round.
So many buttons. So altering their hands here with Amethyst Steel. I've not played this deck, but what is she looking for?
So if she's playing a really low to the ground, I personally I'll keep one dock and all the one drops and normally mull everything else. If I have like a good SME or something like that, so I could go like one drop, two drop, one drop, two drop, and then next turn 2-drop dock, or one drop, one drop, one drop, one drop, 2-drop. Any way that you can try to build that to go really aggressive.
Really fast.
But the Amethyst Steel list, there's like multiple degrees of how high you're going on the curve. And Lizard Kitty traditionally does not play 21 drops. She seems to normally be closer to the 8 to 12 range, which is fine. But it means that she might not be keeping docks in her starting hand. She's got some heavier 5 and 4s in her list. That said, she might. I just love Doc. What can I say? If
Doc
I have
is
it in my starting
great.
hand, I'm gearing my hand for it as much as I
Yes.
can. Like,
yeah. And then, and the players, they're going in blind, right? They don't know what each other's playing.
correct.
I don't. So it looks like
Which
we have
is
Dundee.
why we're not just showing the list on the screen.
Yeah, Dundee's on the play. So, of course, starting out with the magic broom, like any good Ruby Amethyst player does.
Oh yeah, a traditional open, always quite good.
Yes, and I see your broom and raise you a broom on the other side of the board.
Broom on broom action. They'll just be sweeping each other up.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting here. I know in Ruby Amethyst, you have that Flynn Sisu line. So it'll be interesting to see if that's what Dundee is going to go with.
Just
What's
pop
hiding
in
up
the
in there?
broom.
In the
It's a
Yep.
little-
What did he play there? The graphics are hiding what he put up there in the corner.
I think it's a
And-
followers. Yep.
Oh,
it's a
I think you're
followers.
right. Yeah, it's a followers and then another broom.
So it's an interesting thing to pop this broom here. It makes me feel like there's not very many inkables in Dundee's hand, but they also played the second broom. So it's interesting because without maybe Lizard Kitty's playing the Mickey Mouse that gives something Challenger 2, and Dundee's just playing around it. But in general, I feel the broom could still quest here, and so he could be giving up 1 to 2 lore here in an important thing. But he is the control player in this matchup, so he doesn't really need to worry about racing as much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's fun. And we're back.
There we go.
Technology is great, except when it doesn't work,
Exactly. And see.
And we have Calhoun.
And with Calhoun coming down here, now Dundee has to banish all of his stuffs.
Yeah. The interesting thing with Broom and Turnabogs is, you can banish them to draw a card, but you don't always have to. And so knowing at the right moment that you want to do that is going to be key. But like you said, maybe he didn't have much else in his hand and he needed to pop it right away to find something else. But he could have kept it on the board to quest.
I'm kind of interested to see what Dundee's going to play on this turn. I'm assuming, I kind of want to get a Diablo in play so I could, crab it to trade with this Calhoun if Calhoun quests. But it's turn 3. I don't really want to be playing a 1-drop if I can help it. I think a Sisu or a Flynn would be all right. Doing nothing is interesting. It kind of tells about their hand.
Their hand, exactly. Yeah. I mean, what is nice is that Dundee, depending on what his hand is, should have some answers to Calhoun.
And Melissa
and we have
is just going
flying
all
over
out.
here.
Like,
Yes.
and Melissa shows like a strong knowledge of the matchup and her deck. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's Calhoun. Like, whatever. It has resist 1. This isn't doing anything." Fox is a card. Crab
Yep.
is a card. Look, and the inking of the
Oh,
fox.
inking a fox. To play a fox? What's going on here?
Rabbit. Just to
Oh,
draw
rabbit.
cards.
Okay, yeah, he's just looking for cards.
And this is going to be an interesting thing where Melissa needs to get as much lore as she can and then chain like 2 or 3 Pete's. And if she can do that,
Yes.
she's in a good spot. But we saw Dundee's list, and he has some spicy 6 slots and a few other cards. So
does.
like Pete might not do enough.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. She has to have the Pete's too.
There's a
All
goat
right.
getting some more lore. And yeah, still looks like she's not questing with Calhoun, which like you were saying, you only get the benefit of her effect if you're challenging and banishing a character on your own turn. So she doesn't want to risk questing with Calhoun and losing that with a fox, like you're saying, coming down, or even with Rabbit there. If a crab came down, he could run into Calhoun and take her out. So yeah, smart of
Yep.
Legend Kitty to keep her ready there.
And inking the other fox shows back to the most likely high on ink count in hand from cracking
Yeah.
the first broom. Also
Yeah.
could mean that there's multiple foxes. So like a rabbit into Diablo, foxing it back, drawing another card, and then trading with Calhoun is like not bad. That said, I might even still do that with the Smee. Because you're trading anyways, and that Smee's getting more lore than a Calhoun is. Because we're not turning Calhoun on. We're not going to let Calhoun gain lore if we can help it.
Yep. And going into the Calhoun or into the Smee, with a rabbit and drawing a card there, and I have got to assume that Dundee just has a bricked hand or
Elsa?
something
Oh.
there. Oh, a Maui
All
coming
right.
down. Okay.
I don't remember if I saw Lizard Kitty playing crabs. I'm assuming if she is, it's only 1 or 2. It's an okay trade with Calhoun. It's not amazing. You do get 2 lore off of it.
Yeah.
Maui's just really annoying. Just
For
for the Magic players, it's an abyss.
when I very, very first started playing, like one of my like second times going to a league, like way back in September of 2023, I was asking another more experienced player. I said, what do you think is the best card in the game right now? Just the first set. And he said, Maui, hands down.
I mean, I don't know if I
And-
fully agree, but it's really close. It's definitely in the top
yeah.
5. Like, I think I lost more games to Be Prepared than Maui.
Well, that's
Although-
probably true.
You could argue that the Maui made them live to get to the Be Prepared. So
Yeah.
it's a difficult character to deal with, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think its
So-
testing name was like Big Attacker or something like that.
Right.
Ooh.
We have our first dock down on Lizard Kitty's side, getting rid of an Elsa. We also saw a strength of a Raging
Sang,
Fire
right?
plate to put 2 damage. Yep, sung with
Oh.
the goat, and now running Calhoun into Maui to gain that 2 lore.
See, I really wish that Elsa was a 2-drop. I mean, this is
Mm.
why I play a very aggressive version of the deck, is because
Oh.
Doc's a lot worse when you have to discard a card to play it.
Yeah.
It was still a fair thing, and I would still do what she did. I wouldn't have kept it. But I don't know. I think Elsa's a little expensive. Does some pretty good work. I
Yeah.
personally don't play it as much, but it's also really good at dealing with genies. So if you have to get stuck in a genie war, not helping
Yes.
Elsa, you're going to be like, I can't believe I listened to Wonderland as I'm
Right.
losing to this genie, and my opponent's Elsa's, and I have no way to fight back.
Yeah. That is the tough thing is, yeah, those genies are still everywhere. And I imagine both these players
Whoa.
probably have some genies.
That is some immense respect for Doc, for Dundee to answer the Doc there. That also shows an understanding, because any bounce effect on that Doc to replay it is like what Kitty's
Yes.
going to try to do. Lizard Kitty's going to try to do every turn. I think that's
And-
probably the right play, even though a lot of people wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, and she I think her hand, like she only has like one card in hand right now, I think. And
Yeah, two
so
after the
that
draw.
dock, yeah. And so that dock was probably really valuable, especially if she got something to bounce it back with. So
Yep.
I would agree with that play that Dundee made.
It's also
At
kind
Madame
of
Medusa.
it is a little scary. I mean, she couldn't have targeted the
Goat.
anyways.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
the fact that goat could then be bounced instead of dock is also like really difficult. And she has another
Yeah.
goat. She's like,
And
"You
another
can't
goat.
say it.
You
Let's
know,
play
why
another
not?
one."
And then she is questing here with Calhoun this time. Already up to 11 here for Lizard Kitty. And Dundee sitting at 3 lore. I've seen a couple Queen's Castles going into his Inkwell. I think that's the second one. So interesting. I know a lot of people have not necessarily been playing Queen's Castles lately. And we have Be Prepared coming down. Get a draw off that Diablo and 2 more lore from the goat, of course, on Lizard Kitty's side. But I think that was probably the only answer that Dundee had with how Lizard Kitty's board was getting there. And she's just going to build her army back up.
Sorry.
No worries.
Be prepared. Oh, I blanked for 1 second.
Yep. Goats and everything gone. But yeah, Dundee. Ooh. Oh, man. I wonder how long those Be Prepareds have been in his hand.
Dock.
Oh, man.
I'm sending dock emotes in the chat right now. Come on. We need those docks.
Oh, there's a rose.
I mean,
okay.
It's not
sure.
bad.
Not bad.
Not playing another card, though, is like that. So that other card is either removal or a 3+ drop. And I'm hoping for her that it's a 3+ drop and not just like another strength. She doesn't play very much removal. And she's seen 2 strengths so far.
There's that genie that we were talking about. So
maybe it's a fox. A fox would not be bad.
Oh,
Quest
a fox
15,
wouldn't be bad.
Fox it back, replay it. Although you have to ink again. If you were to replay it.
If you were wanted to replay it that turn, yeah. Oh, it's a crab.
Oh yeah, dock. We did it.
It was the dock.
We summoned it. We
yes.
did it, chat.
We got that dock.
Not what Dundee wanted to see right there.
No. Yeah, and on Dundee's side, he does have that genie.
Interesting. Something happened. I don't know what
happened. Oh, okay. Oh, something did happen. Yeah, there's a reshuffling going on right now.
I think an extra card was accidentally shown.
Oh,
while she was
sure.
trying
Yeah.
to draw the second one.
To draw the second card from Doc. Yeah.
So. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Done by Ellie, our amazing judge on staff tonight.
Yes.
I guess this is
such
the
an
perfect time
awesome
to mention
judge team. Yeah.
Oh yeah. As I was gonna say, I think it's a thing. Merch.
Yeah,
there we go.
got
So I did create a couple items on my merch store where all of the proceeds will be going towards the judging staff.
That's very cool.
And this is the design of it. It says no actions and it has a whistle on it.
I love it. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
And just for B squared, we had a bucket hat
no
version.
actions bucket hat. That
And
is
so
fantastic.
all of the costs, like I have it set up. Well, I don't sell anything on that store basically. So like all of the sales from those items are going to be going towards
to
helping
the judges
out.
something. That's fantastic. Okay, so over on Dundee's side, there was a lot that just happened. So he used the rabbit that was on board to sing Friends on the Other Side, bounced back the rabbit with a fox. He played I'm not sure what happened to the fox, actually. It's now in the discard, but there's a goat and then a Flynn that came out. And with that goat on board, Dundee does indeed have the character with the most strength, which is going to then trigger Flynn's effect on this next turn.
Phil's in the chat. He had his thing muted, so he didn't hear it.
Ah.
So all the proceeds, profits, whatever, the money that this app gives me for selling things, I'm going to be dividing up between the judges on the no action products. It should say in the description of the item, all proceeds going to the judges.
That's very cool.
Well, we need to pay them for something. Like,
Yeah.
judges deserve to be paid too.
They do.
Because they've been doing a lot of volunteering, and it's amazing.
Oh, we have a big Sisu.
Oh, that's not what Lizard wants.
That
Melissa wants to see.
Is some spice there. You don't always see a Sisu in a Ruby Amethyst deck. Sometimes just maybe one copy, and but when it comes down, man, against
19
Melissa's deck, that
goat.
Oh, and there's goat. Yep.
It's like,
I feel like Dundee just was too far behind. He did not have the cards he needed in the early game, and by the time he was able to get what he needed and start ramping up, it just was not soon enough.
yeah, Melissa's doing a good job of showing how people should play this deck and
Yeah.
how it can do things. Like, there's a lot of good Amethyst lists right now, different versions that could be played.
Yeah, fabulous. And the Docs, of course, all-star MVP of this deck. And
Oh, yeah.
I loved also just seeing like some of those small decisions that you talked about, like not questing with the Calhoun, you know, and different things like that, because it's all those little micro decisions that help you win games.
Oh, yeah, they're really important. And Lorcana is so much deeper and harder to play than people realize. I was just telling my friend, he was like, "Are you going to go play Magic in Denver?" And I'm like, "I doubt I'll ever play again." I mean, like,
Oh, really?
it's not even the Disney thing that gets me. I'm not here for the Disney aspect. It's just the game itself.
The gameplay.
Is so good. I mean, I do miss Instance, but
Yeah.
I love not getting mana screwed. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I can count the times I've been ink screwed on like 2 hands, and it's like 7 or 8 times lifetime. In Magic, it was like 3 out of 10 games, like 30% of your games. It was almost like 50% of your games, one of the 2 players had mana issues, and that alone is just like too much. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it. I like to feel like I'm in control, and like Lorcana really lets you feel that way. Like, sure, sometimes there's nothing you can do, but most of the time you could have altered differently. You could have inked differently. You could have not quested. I don't know how many times I make a play and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I think I just like lost the game because of my own mistake. And I would rather lose every game to my own mistakes than the inability to even play the game.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Until Ink Geyser comes along.
I'm fine with you guys. Like, I actually
really,
I do not like losing to Ruby Sapphire Flaversham decks. So
well, there you go. That's true. That's true.
I definitely brewed up an Ink Geyser deck, like an aggro list that I'm like, all right, maybe this is what we need to do. Like, let's just get going. It's going to be kind of hard though to. Ink Geyser's probably a lot more balanced and fair than people realize.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. I'm just joking. But I think it's such an interesting card, and it'll be really interesting to see. It is very polarizing. I think it's going to be really interesting and fun to see what kind of decks people come up with that card. But
I just like letting people who play Sisu know what it feels like to get blown out by one card in their deck.
You know, yeah. My son plays Ruby Sapphire, and it's a pain playing against that child. I tell you.
Come on, Mom, let's play again. Why don't you like my dragon deck?
Oh man, that kid.
Pretty good opening from both players. I mean, one drops that draw cards.
Absolutely.
Dundee, depending on Dundee's hand, like I think he could easily quest with this followers and not draw a card. Because
I think so too.
Yeah, if Lizard Kitty is being, and Dundee agrees this time.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
a Flynn, if you can't tell what it
Yep.
is.
I'm so glad he has a 2-drop this game. Last game, he obviously, well, he had the 2 1-drops that he could put down, but that Flynn, I mean, I've seen so many games won on Flynn. If he can get his effect to trigger a couple times, you know, even just once, like 3 or 6 lore is a lot for the other player to have to make up for.
Don't mind me just eating dinner at the same time.
Are you a fan more of Chernobog's followers or Magic Broom?
Ooh.
Like, if you have both in your hand, which one are you putting down on turn 1?
In the blind, I haven't done the math, but I've been leaning more towards Broom. Mostly because it survives more things challenging it. Like,
Yeah.
Broom lives through a Tipo.
Yeah.
So if I know
Yes.
they're on Sapphire, it's like, well, I'm playing Broom first, so I can continue to quest.
Yeah.
That tends to be my concept. But sometimes it's better to have the followers because you need to trade with the challenger if they're going to challenge instead.
Yeah. Do we have a Sisu? We do, it looks like. So Smee came down, of course, with that 3 strength. Wasn't able to gain the 3 lore from Flynn this turn, but I don't know. I mean, with that,
it's probably going to gain lore next turn unless Kitty just
I
really
was just
dumps
gonna
her
say,
hand.
what I don't know what else that she could put down on next turn that would stop it from triggering.
See,
depending on how, yeah.
She's on the draw, so she went to 8, 9, 10 cards. She has 6 cards in hand. She could ink down to 5 cards in hand, play a 2-drop to 4, play a 1-drop to 3, and that's still 4 power. So triple 1-drop. I think triple 1-drop is our
triple
only
1-drop
way.
would, yes.
Or Doc, just like, no, I'm going to discard my hand.
Just discard hold hand. We have a Calhoun coming down and another 1-drop, so a 2 and a 1 with the Diablo.
And we did see in game 1 that Melissa is on crabs, which is like that's one of the nice things about Amethyst aggressive lists is that you can run crab as a pseudo removal, so you can play removal as well as like the beatdown at the same time.
I was not always a believer in Merlin Crab, but he's good. Especially when there's a lot of locations out there right now, I feel like we saw in round 1, those McDuck Manors.
And that is a Calhoun and a Diablo she has in play.
Yeah. Friends on the other side being played by Dundee here.
Playing cards on webcam has some direct opposites of what you should have happen. You need a light on you, so you are lit up. You need no light at all on your cards. So when I stream, I have my light off, and then I have like a little lamp under my desk, so so it lights up my green screen behind me. And as you can kind of see, this is still green here, but there's not enough light on it because technology or whatever.
What technology or whatever.
Dundee going for, he sang that Sisu. He sang with Sisu.
Yes, he sang it with Sisu.
I don't know. I feel like Sisu almost always wants to be questing. Maybe some more educated Ruby Amethyst players in chat can correct me if I'm wrong there, but like I feel like you don't want to sing songs with your double lore characters if you can help it.
Fox bounced Diablo back and replayed Diablo. I don't know. Maybe he's just looking. I mean, he played the rabbit as well, so he wouldn't have had enough ink to do both. But that Fox taking out Sisu, sad Sisu. Oh, there we go. Yeah. The glare on the cards. Always.
Got that taken care of real quick. That was nice. And I waited so it didn't have a time delay. Like an issue at the time. It was very nice how fast the first round went. Like the last few weeks, we had a couple nail biters going like almost to turns,
Oh wow.
and we do 60-minute rounds for best of 3, which
For
is
best of 3. Yeah.
10 over the recommended set champs.
Oh, is it for set champs just 50-minute rounds?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I know that we had a few options, and one of them we opted for this. We could do longer as
Yeah.
well, but we don't want to have to say we'll do 70 and then just have them still play slower, still go to time, and make us wait an extra 30 minutes for the
Yeah.
whole thing. The judges do remind players after the games how much time is there, and every once in a while, and if they ever ask, they are aware of how much time is left in the round.
Yeah. I was seeing Dundee bouncing that rabbit. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I remember hearing Ed one time talking about, because he doesn't play genies. He didn't play genies in his deck at the North American Championship. And he was talking about, how you just get the card draw when he comes into play for genie versus a rabbit. He's like, you can get, like, I forget what the number was, but when you have snakes and foxes bouncing that thing out of one rabbit, you can get so much card draw. And
Yep.
it's like, yep, if you can get that
So-
rabbit bouncing.
If you're not bouncing, Genie's probably better because it's questing for 2. If you are in a
Right.
position to not be aggressive and whatnot, the rabbit's better. Like if you play both, you draw a card, and then they answer it, rabbit is better because you draw another card.
Yeah.
So it's kind of come on that. I think if you can play both, that's the best position you can be, but it just might be too much.
Right.
We're finally kind of like this set and a little bit of the last set. We've finally been at the part that there's so many good cards that you have to actually start making tough decisions.
Choices.
Instead of, the choice instead of being is like, what is my last card that I don't want to play in my deck, but I have to, is now which of these great cards do I want to play in my deck that I can't?
Yeah. And it's just going to get harder and harder as we see more cards come into play. And really what it's going to do, though, is you're going to have more diversity of decks out there, right?
Which is great.
So, yeah, which we all want.
The only negative is I have to make more Discord channels because you can't just be like, well, this is the Sapphire Steel
Right.
list. It's like, no, this
Yes.
is the No Whole New World Sapphire Steel. This is the Whole New World Sapphire Steel. This is the Kiwi Sapphire Steel. This is traditional Whole New World Amber Steel. This is like the Diggy Hole, the Mines version of Amber Steel.
Right.
And that's nice. It also means that you don't know what your opponent's necessarily playing off their first
Just
ink
from their
picture.
ink color. Yeah. Man, Lizard Kitty has Elsa and Genie out here, both evasive.
Ooh.
And, I was going to say, there's not many answers that Dundee has. That was one of them.
Yeah,
Be
Melissa needed the
prepared.
Pete there. Let's see if she
Yep.
can drop her hand and play a dock at once, or if she just has big things.
She's
big
exerting
things.
4.
Not a bad
Genie.
follow-up.
Mhm.
Just have to hope that Dundee doesn't have one of his ladies.
Yes.
Or now have to hope that it's not a Medusa. Or Brawl.
Or Brawl. Yes. And I know that Dundee does have both ladies in his deck, so some Lady Tremaine and Madame Medusa. So either of those would, well, I guess you wouldn't want Lady Tremaine in this
Yeah, you don't
situation.
want the Tremaine now.
No.
It's like the Tremaine
That's
was good
always-
until the Diablo showed
until
up.
the Diablo came down. Yeah.
That's like some set 2 action where it's like the main reason they played 1-drops in the list
Yes, was just to protect.
for Tremaine. Yeah,
Mhm.
like the format wasn't fast enough that you needed a 1-drop to keep up with the aggressive decks, but you did need it to not necessarily get blown out when you play a 7-drop that you need to quest with.
Oh, there's that Pete we see finally.
I mean, this board looks arguably better than the previous board that
I
Pete
think
was
so.
on.
Questing
Up
for
to
3,
14.
14.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19 lore and
19,
play.
19.
Oh,
Plus, if you
there's
get a goat,
something else is
know?
coming in. There's no way she'd ink that without having something to play, right? All right, now that's lethal in play.
there you go. Yep. So then
And
that's game.
She has to play another. Nope. Still not
No,
lethal
but that's
because of a
game there.
challenge. Just a challenge
Unless-
on
yeah.
the Diablo.
Yep.
but
Which will give her a
most
card.
likely- yeah, it's most likely game. She's playing multiple white roses and multiple
Goats.
Yeah. See, you know exactly what I want to say when I forget it. It's perfect.
I love winning a game on a goat. Is there anything better?
I mean, I definitely don't like losing to goats. Like
Fair.
Capu after I answered 4 castles.
Oh
in
man.
Our second game, he top decked goat at 19.
Goat. Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
I was probably going to concede to him anyways, because we were I had lost the first game, we both of us needed a 2-0 to make day 2. But after I told him, I was like, "Oh, you got it the hard way. Like you won both games. I didn't even have to concede before I was about to win or anything."
Right. Oh, so we had an Elsa come down, exerted Chernobogs. So we got rid of, and
the
so
genie.
Elsa, yeah, took care of the genie. And then Rabbit goes into followers. Oh, and a fox. Goodbye, Diablo.
This is what Dundee needed to stay in this game. 16's
That was some
a lot more
nice
reasonable.
Cleanup, yes. At Elsa coming in. Clutch here for Dundee.
But 8 to 14. I mean, there's no evasives, and there's a lot of evasives on Dundee's side, but at the same time,
so
I feel like it's pretty much in Melissa's
favor. Yeah. Oh, and it's me. Yeah, I mean, Dundee is just too far behind here. I don't. Oh, okay. So no, be prepared.
Still one away. Oh.
Mm-hmm. And a Calhoun.
Medusa / Lady Tremaine, or you're dead. Or you lose the race of lore.
He does have that one. Well, Sisu wouldn't come in handy here because they're all
protected.
Yeah, they're all protected. So even a Sisu wouldn't help. I don't know what other answers that.
It's just the ladies.
It's just the ladies, and that would really just save him for one more turn. I know he does have 7 ink at least. So that gives him just one lady that he could bring down if he has it in hand, but
it's looking really rough.
It's pretty rough. And even with that, oh man, even that Pete there, he could take care of that with Fox.
It's not even great. I mean,
but
you have
it's
to
not
do it. But
you have to, yeah. Doesn't feel good.
Another Elsa, I guess, is an out.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Right. It's like right now it seems like any answer that he has. Oh, see, you choose your own adventure. It's like, oh yeah, that saves him one turn because that still is 3 lore on the board here. Okay. There we go.
There's a world. Melissa never draws
a goat or a rose. I know. Puts the Pete back down. Oh, was that all she had in hand?
I think so.
I think that was it. So top deck, be prepared here.
I don't actually know if I would have played that Pete. I think I would have just passed the turn because we know that Dundee has the be prepared or the lady in hand. So
that's true.
Now he just needs to trade off the characters and then play the lady.
Oh, and play lady.
Whereas if she waited and drew another character, she could play both, protected from be prepared, and then slightly protected from
Lady Tremaine for the next turn. Yeah.
Unless there was like Lady Tremaine with shift Lady Tremaine on it, which would have I think Dundee would have had exactly that much ink. So like that could have happened.
Yep. And even without be prepared, we have a full board wipe there.
Lizard has 2 turns. She has 2 turns to draw direct lore gain or hope a character she plays does
Can
not
stick.
get answered.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Genie, draw, and can she find the rose?
I put
me.
B prep.
I know that's.
What?
We have
10 ink?
4 lore. Yeah, he has 10 ink.
That's a B prep and ink, and then another 4-drop good card. Like 13. It could actually be could quest to 18.
He could quest to 18.
B prep.
B prep. Mm-hmm.
Brutal.
Oh, he must have it. He's got to have it if he's questing out.
Yeah, there's definitely a B prep here.
If not, that would be odd. But at Queen's Castle. No, library. That's a library.
Move
okay.
One of them to it.
Yeah. Put the rabbit over. Yeah. Then you'll draw 2 when that's gone, and we have 7 for be prepared. Sweet.
All right.
That
is she gonna win both games off a goat?
Off a goat. That's. I mean. Oof.
Doc.
I mean.
Doc. Goat. Doc. Goat. Doc. Goat.
Doc goat. What do we have? Do we have a pass?
Strength instead. We drew a strength.
Did
instead.
she? Oh my goodness!
There's no other card
not
in the deck
even a
that she would not play.
character. Yeah.
It had
we
to have been a strength.
Another.
Doc.
Wow.
Doc.
Oh my goodness.
Goat.
Coming down to the wire here.
Oh!
It
was the strength.
Oh my goodness. It was. You said, yeah, that's the only card she wouldn't have played. Oh my goodness. Coming down there to the very last
what a
floor. Oh my goodness. And
right.
Lizard Kitty taking it 2-0 for Team Forbidden Mountain.
I know you want to.
If you want to undeafen or unmute yourself in Discord, we can ask them some questions. Well, that was quite the top deck there at the end.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Both games. I lethal, and then she top decks.
Just amethyst things. You have any questions you want to ask, Rebecca?
Oh, can you hear me okay? I can't hear.
We can hear you, Rebecca.
You can't hear them? They can hear you, so you can ask questions.
You
just won't hear the answers.
I just won't hear the answers. I just have to know, from both of you, that the last couple plays there on game 2, coming down, you both at 19, waiting for if there was going to be a goat or a rose or something, and you drew that strength. How did that feel?
Strength is the best card in the deck until it's the absolute worst card in the deck. And just holding it to pass felt so bad, but I also didn't really need 8 ink, so I kind of just held it and prayed that I would find either a goat or a rose. I mean, I didn't see a dock, so I thought maybe if I found a dock with 7 ink, I could bounce it, shuffle my hand a little bit and find something, but the rose came off the top.
Yeah, the rose off the top there at the end was really good.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, never. I was gonna say you could have inked the strength, but it wouldn't have mattered at all there.
I could have, but I felt like 7 ink for my deck is just enough.
Good enough.
So ink for 8, just I don't know. I figured maybe if I drew a card, I might need to strength. If he played a Chernobog follower or something, perhaps I needed it. So I just held on to it.
That's a good point. Very fair. If it was just B prep and then one character, yeah, you might have needed to do that for sure. Dundee, you were playing a nice spicy version here. You had a lot of cards in your deck, 2 castles, 2 libraries, 2 ladies, another 2 ladies.
Lots of splits.
Yeah. Is there any inspiration you took from that?
Sorry, yeah, agreed.
I was gonna say, where did you get inspiration for your list?
I'm hearing your echo. No, sorry, not from here. So how I got inspiration is a lot of this I know we're cutting the Queen's Castles because they just they won't cut in. I felt like that was just the wrong choice. I felt like you need castle, just because slamming that down for 2, that's so threatening. And like you can ignore a library for a couple of turns, but if I have a castle slam down and you can't answer it, that thing's gonna win me the game by itself. So that's why I prefer 2 and 2, because sometimes castle won me, sometimes library would win. As for Medusas, I know some of this come Medusas. I still like Medusa because sometimes you just need that targeted removal, which can be a bit inconsistent sometimes.
That's fair. I wish I had more educated questions to ask you about your Ruby Amethyst list. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
a
the
little
deck
spicy.
I play.
Yeah.
Been a fan of the castles then?
Yeah, like I said, I never dropped castles. I've always had them in my deck. Even when I just cut them, I still kept it because I felt like it just was too good for win condition.
Yep. All right, Melissa, I have a question for you. When you're mulliganing, do you keep a dock in your hand?
Yeah.
So more often than not, especially if I'm mulling blind, I will not keep a dock in my hand. There is a slim chance that if I know that I am against Ruby Sapphire and I have a curve that I am comfortable with, I will keep a dock in my hand. But otherwise, it usually clogs my hand with the 1-drops that replace themselves, so I prefer not to.
Okay. Play it differently than I do, but you have had very good success with it, so I will not chastise anything there.
It kind of depends on the matchup, but as you have said, and Mr. Burns says more often than not, we often end up with 2 docks in our hand, so it feels so bad keeping one and then drawing into another one.
Yeah. And I was talking about it earlier at the beginning. Is like you're also playing more higher cards in your deck. Like I don't think I would necessarily want to keep a dock in my hand if you had Elsa's in your list as well. It makes it much more difficult or it makes it easier to get the double dock stuck in hand and such.
Right. It kind
like how many 1-drops do you have?
There's 12 1-drops in the deck.
Oh.
And they all
I was just like, she's not playing 20. She plays between 8 and 12, but I didn't want to just be like, yeah, she's on 8 or 12, like instantly.
Yeah, no, it's 12 1-drops, and they all replace themselves in some capacity, or have the ability to.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any shout outs that either of you would like to give here really quickly? We'll start with Dundee. Shout out to the Den. All right. Melissa?
Shout out to TFM and everyone who I tussed with. I've been playing this deck for a really long time. It's been fun. I think many of you probably saw me playing on the SSG stream 2 weekends ago. So just kind of figured I'd keep it rolling.
And been on a roll. That is for sure. All right. Well, thank you both very much, and you have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
All
Rebecca,
right.
Do you have any amazing shout outs to give before
Amazing.
we trade off?
Well, amazing shout out to you, Wonderland, and to everyone, on ICL, the judges and everyone, I think, people, if you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. And it's really fantastic seeing all these really amazing teams across the Lorcana community coming together for these matches. So thanks for everything you're doing with ICL. It's awesome.
Oh, well, we're just glad to have you here, and
I'm
pretty sure you'll be back again. So
I would love to be back. Yeah. And in the meantime, if anyone wants to follow along with my Lorcana adventures, I'm mostly over on Instagram, Rebecca Quests everywhere. That's me.
Go follow. If after this you want to put a link to your page in the Twitch chat, please do.
Can do. All right. Well, have a good night and good luck to both teams.
All right. We're going to be adding Katie, I do believe, is the next person who's going to be coming in. So, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. Oh, covering.
You never now. Hello, it's me, Wonderland. Did he just disappear as introducing me? I guess so.
They can still
Oh,
hear me, though.
okay. So it's me. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. We look who's back. A surprise second appearance. We had a little bit of a scheduling thing, and JD said, "I'm ready. I'm always ready for this."
Listen, Katie, I'm always locked in, laser focused. ICL night, you got to be up, you got to be active, and you got to get ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I just sat here and did the whole thing, and now we're ready for round number 3, Katie. I'm excited to be with you again. It's always a pleasure.
Well, thank you. All right.
Let's do this. All right. So now we do have this all important round number 3. And Katie, if you haven't been paying attention, Cerberus hasn't won a game yet. Okay. So we need to send some energy over to Cerberus because we don't want to see a full true sweep. I don't think we had one of those in ICL just yet. And I think they want to go ahead and represent their community well, their team well, and let's see if we can pull off a dub here in round number 3. What do you want to see?
Well, you saw me zone out for a second there because I was trying to figure out how to work a setting on my computer, but I'm locked in now.
Are you locked in now? Okay.
Okay, yeah. And I'm truly excited because I love an underdog. I think you were talking about with R&B, having somebody. Dale's back. Hi, Dale. Dale's playing. Is that okay?
Look
Dale's
at that.
here. So we got a big one here, a heavy hitter here. Dale, it sounds like you're buddies with Dale. So you want to give a little hype up?
Listen. Let me tell you. I'm more than friends with Dale. Okay, Dale. I am a huge Dale Bolito fan. Okay, Dale and I we go back pretty far. He's a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. He's an icon in the retro Yu-Gi-Oh space. Okay, if not for Dale. If not for this player you're about to see on your screen today, this fantastic Lorcana player that you guys come to know and love, if not for him, I wouldn't be here right now. I would not be playing this game if not for Dale. He introduced me to this game. He told me you should play it. You should consider it. It is definitely someone I've been idolizing for quite some time. So I'm looking forward to it. I think he's a fantastic, phenomenal player. He started this competitive season off in a straight blitz. I mean, he had some significant conversions in some high-level tournaments. He's won some things. He's got some top performances. He didn't quite get over the threshold that he wanted. Took a big break, and I'm glad to see him back in playing some Lorcana, joining us in the ICL, playing on the Forbidden Mountain. I know they're old friends and they go back as well. So I'm excited to see Dale back out here cooking. Maybe we can get some techniques so clean with his movements, and he's going to be doing his thing. So Josh is going to have his hands full. But what do you know about Josh? Tell me about Josh here from the Cerberus Den.
Well, Josh is the reason that I'm in Lorcana. Actually, that's not true. But I wanted to give him equal hype up, and it didn't seem fair that.
Okay, you're right.
But Josh is representing a Cerberus Den, which I've spelled 4,000 ways this week. Now he's a community man. Okay, so he earned 206 tickets, and anyone who's earned tickets knows that that's not easy. He hosted 76 Lorcana events in the first year, which I don't know if anyone's counting, but if they do, I'm sure that's some kind of record. And then also he owns the most foil set 1 Cerberus, which is still my least favorite word. I hope I don't have to say it again.
I wonder if there's a picture of that. I would like to see some of a play set of foil Cerberi, if I could.
Cerberi, there we go.
I think it's Cerberi. I don't know if it's Cerberus. Cerberus. I mean, somebody corrects in the chat.
So yeah, I obviously it's good to see winners win, but also it's really exciting to see an underdog. And what more of an underdog could be a 3-headed underdog?
Hey, that's so funny, Katie. You are so. Oh my God, you're so funny.
I was stretching.
Did you write that one? Did you write that one?
I didn't, but I felt good when it came up.
That one was so good. You guys don't respect the comedy, dude. The timing was perfect. But I think the players are ready.
They are.
I'm ready. You're ready. We have the Cerberus Den. We got the sleeves. We have the badge. We have the mat. Fully bought into the Cerberus as Dale's on the patent pending no play mat. I love to see it. The deck is about $13,000. No play mat.
Yeah,
Crazy.
No, that's cold as ice to just say playmat. Not me. I'm not playing with the playmat. And I'll send you the deck list now. But when I first looked at it, I was like, I'm looking at 2 decks in a mirror. But they're very different. So I'm going to send you the link because right now you're like, okay, so I'm probably going to see. Well, I'm going to send it to you because
okay.
You know, you're the sub. You're the substitute teacher. So
it's okay. I'm locked in. Shout out to Brent. Hopefully Brent was supposed to be here today, and we didn't get the pleasure of getting Brent, which I'm a huge Brent fan as well.
Which good on him for saying. He said, "Hello, I'm on a plane," and I said, "Well, that's I've paid for internet on a plane. I don't think it's going to cut it. It's not so good for streaming."
But I do appreciate his energy, and maybe next time we'll get some Brent. But until then, you guys are stuck with me again and Katie. So it's not the worst,
It's actually probably the best case scenario for having the second. Like, I mean, this,
There you go.
it's like, it's kind of like when you're like in a drawing and they're like, you get to pick what prize you want, and like you want one of the prizes, so you're hoping the first place person picks something else because you still get a good prize. So,
Okay.
so it's a very common scenario that people know. But as far as this match goes, it's one of those matches where it's very exciting because I'm like, I gotta pull up this Lorcana app because there's some cards where I think the other person's gonna say, "Excuse, pardon."
Yeah, there might be some read breaks here. I think I
Yeah.
had to read a few already, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hopefully some of this stuff can pop off.
I'm
If
doing
it
a lot
can-
of enhance.
if it can pop off, and yeah, like I said, Dell, someone in the chat, I can't I'm so my vision is so bad I can't read the names, but that is the Dell from Spagage. That is a Dell from Yu-Gi-Oh! And fun fact, another story, like I said, I've been following this guy for a long time, and I remember walking to the library to use the free internet to download Dale's deck list from Yu-Gi-Oh! On Pojo back in like 2006. So this is like 20 years in the making. This is no joke. This is how long he's been kind of crushing these trading card games. A lot of experience, and he transferred very well to Lorcana. So Josh is going to have his hands full, but I think this could be the time. This could be your time. As Cerberus Den is just trying to save face a little bit. You got to win at least a game as you got some spice already being revealed as a Robin Hood is going to find its way into the inkwell as Diablo is going to be played. So we got some green on green, and Dale playing the patent pending green steel strategy.
And he's already showing Dale's doing something very, very ice cold here, where he's playing with no play mat, but also putting an enchanted card on the table. So it's like it's a lot to look at as a player.
It's borderline disrespectful. I'm talking full enchanted. You're just calling me poor in like so many different ways.
It'd be funny if he didn't use sleeves. That'd be the ultimate.
It's
but
insane.
he did.
And just like even at the DLCs, I see him walking around with no mat, and I'm like, "Hey, Dale, where's your mat?" He's like, "I don't use one."
Where we're going, we don't need mats.
I'm like, "Why not? Everyone uses a mat." He goes, "Nah, I can't carry it because his outfit is he's so fashionista. He can't get a little man purse, and he's got the deck in there with no mat because it doesn't fit the fashion."
Now Dale now knows. I'm like, I can't. That's too scary to listen to. That's a scary story that you tell it after the nighttime. So Dale says, Uno reverse. He says, okay, you've scared me a bit. And now he's already seen some stuff he might not have expected to see. Primarily, we're seeing a Sherwood Forest and a Robin Hood, but not the one it's Robin Hood Sneaky Sleuth. Yeah. And so, I mean, obviously you see the Pete, you see the Whole New World, you see the Morv, but right now Dale's going, okay, well, it's not a mirror. That's why I said you thought it was a mirror match, but it's
really not.
Yeah, we got Ursula hanging out on one side and Robin Hood on the other. There's going to be some rhyming. There's going to be some rhyming between the deck, but ultimately it is vastly different flavors.
So you might be losing your Whole New World here in the next turn, and you kind of feel bad about it. And there's really not much you can do. But if you can establish that Sherwood Forest and start putting your Robin Hoods in there for free, you could start pinging some damage. Start doing that whole thing. I think it's a full-on Robin Hood situation, as we've seen another Robin Hood already find its way into the inkwell.
That has been one of the more fun parts of Disney Lorcana is there's been a lot of synergies that we're kind of like, that'll be a thing one day, right? And we're now at the point where it is a thing one day. We're at the one day where you're able to get these cards to do fun things together. Now he is gonna put that morph in, which morph is always kind of a Schrodinger's glimmer, where it could be anything. And look, knowing this deck, he's thinking, okay, are you going to be a Robin Hood? Are you going to be a Tinkerbell? Are you going to be a Beast? Who are you? And we don't know.
I got to ask Kate. I mean, I know the answer, but I'm just testing your knowledge. Do you know, is that Robin Hood a shift? Is that a Floodborn? I mean, I know the answer to this, so don't.
Well, I know the classic one is, but I mean, you're talking about
the one that's in hand already, the Sneaky Sleuth. Is that a shift?
Well, I didn't know, but I did look really quickly. I'm really fast, and the answer is apparently yes.
It is. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew that. I was just testing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I totally was like, I looked really quick. I was like, oh no, I already cheated. So he's doing it again. He's saying, listen, did you get any new songs? And the answer is he's got something a little scary.
Now. So we got the Grab Your Swords, and we have the Whole New World. So this is actually a good decision that Dale's going to have to make, because if that Sneaky Sleuth is a shift on 3, you can shift and sing either one of those songs. And both scenarios seem poor for you if you're Dale. So this is a tough decision that you're going to have to make.
And now for those at home that might be like, Sneaky Sleuth, I know it, but like you said, testing me. So that's something where shift 3, it's a 3/5 And it is this character has +1 lore for each opposing damage character in play. So Dale has to keep that in mind too. He lets him keep that grab your sword. We know that Diablo's kind of delicate, but
we'll
that's
see.
That's fuel for whatever evil plan he has down the line.
But if you do give up all these new cards, and we are going to go ahead and rip the whole new world here, because just giving up that many cards with this powerful Robin Hood in play could be detrimental to your overall position. So electing to leave the grab your sword so you can go for your next turn. I mean, you can, even if you felt so inclined, I think you have some more information. You could play the Pete, buy yourself another turn, and then next turn go for it again if you want it. But we'll see if that's what ends up happening here.
I know, it's kind of interesting because Dale had to make that like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? And now he's gonna find out. What are you gonna do? So it was a shift. We saw that coming, but
yeah, another test question for you, Katie. What does that Robin Hood even do? I mean, I know exactly what it does.
No, that's the one that I said that it gets +1 for each opposing character. So opposing,
it's got to be damage, though, right?
Correct, which makes it kind of perilous because I mean we know that he can. So it doesn't look that. That glare is in a really, really great spot. Did he just sing grab your swords?
He did. He shifts sing swords and blast the Diablo, add 2 to the Ursula, vibrate magnificently with 1 card in hand. And now Dale, I mean, you got him into a nice position. So if you can take away this board, you know that 1 card in hand is going to be that Pete games referee. If you can just secure this board, I think you're going to be in a pretty nice spot. But it's going to be a tall task to do that with this beefy Robin Hood there.
Yeah, and that Robin Hood, he's obviously you're trying to build up some damage characters because right now he would have just quested for 1. So obviously, getting to sing that song, building up 1 damage character, getting rid of a Diablo that could shift. It seems kind of like a bad trade-off, but it's pretty good, I think, in the sense it's twofer. He's investing in his future and preventing pain.
Exactly. I love that. A little ROI. Invest in yourself.
Yeah, right.
Believe in your own future. I like that. I like that.
Robin Hood, sing that. And something that's very fun. And I think it's all coming together when you look at Josh's list. We know, I think like the secret sauce for those at home, when I read the ability for Sneaky Sleuth, that is a very big hint about what else is in his deck. So he is essentially, he wants damaged bodies. So I'm excited to see how he pulls that off and if Dale can catch on to his dastardly plan right now.
I'm certain Dale has to be completely familiar with what this deck is trying to do. I'm looking at his deck again. Just upon reinvestigation, this deck is absolute fuego. I will be playing this on stream
Josh's?
tomorrow. 100%. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is very cute. It's got a lot of cute little things going on.
I am 1000% going to be locking and loading this thing onto the JDZ Quest Twitch tomorrow. So that's what's going to happen. This thing is very, very cool. I'm still in it. It's already in my downloaded files, and I know Dale can deduce pretty quick. That's one of the skills that you must acquire as a top level player. You have to be able to quickly identify what your opponent is trying to do and enact a game plan quickly. And I think Dale's able to do that, but playing a whole new world here with the Pete in play seems vigorous. So the top deck whole new world was rough ride there.
Yeah, and it's a smart move for him because we know, now that you've looked at the list, there's a lot of cards he wants to make his deck really work well. So for him, that whole new world is great because he's like, well, that Ursula probably is there to sing a specific song because we know that Dale's like, well, I need to sing a song twice. So he's like, get that out of here. And also, I need to get more fuel for this Robin Hood Fire Fest, where not like the bad one, like a firing fest.
Yes,
not the bad Fire Fest, the good one that I just made up.
The actual Fire Fest, how it should have been if Ja Rule and wasn't involved in those.
The fest
things.
if it was fire.
Absolutely. So we have double dipping the Ursulas here, and you're staring down a Pete. So I think you just have to kind of position yourself for a follow-on turn. Maybe you can set up a Prince John, take some time to put out the Prince John or put out some other threat to help board fight back. Because if we can get that bow set up, this might be trouble. This might be problematic.
I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, there's an item in here that I have not seen in play, and yeah, if he can get it out there. Really, he's trying to really do some damage on octopodal women over there. But Dale, he can't sing with that Ursula twice. She's not good for questing. She's not good for challenging. So she's just going to sit there and be like, please don't. Let me just, can I have one more turn?
I'm a big fan of Ursula. I think she didn't do anything wrong, but that's for another conversation. That's for another day. As Dale is deep diving the think tank right now, just trying to figure out a way to accost this position and not get yeeted by another whole new world, or a chain of Pete's could also be quite terrible for Dale Bolito here, as you're trying to make some head. You put out
Another
another
Ursula.
Look at
Okay, so he
that.
said, how much do you dislike cephalopodic women? Women with tentacles. And we're going to find out. Josh might have gotten exactly what he was looking for, but we talked about the bow. He has a lot of ways to deal damage to those two other mer people.
It's a lot, but if you can manage to, if you don't accost these characters and say you just quest or you just try to do something else, this is going to be no, you don't really have any songs to sing. No, that's your discard pile.
Yeah.
If you can get a series of medleys, if you will, all the ballots, the Strength of Raging Fires, the Storm Rage On, you can do some serious damage next turn and get some tremendous value. So I'm sure that's what Dale is hoping happens here, as Josh is maybe you got another grab your swords. Maybe you have a Tinkerbell. Are you going into Tinkerbell turn right now? No, you only have 5 ink.
Yeah. So the big tink.
Oh, it's
so
out.
He gets out the bow. So the bow, for those at home, I will read it to you. It is Robin's bow. It is a 3-cost uninkable. When you exert it, you deal 1 damage to chosen damaged character or location. And then the second part is whenever a character of yours named Robin Hood quests, you can ready this item. So you can start going pew, 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 pew. Now it's only damaged characters, that's the downside, but he can lead into some of these with, let's see here. So he does go ahead. Now, how did that Ursula get the first damage on her?
He used the first one was from the big one.
Yeah. Did he? Oh, he did boom.
Yeah, he baboomed that one.
Got it.
And the other one already had a floating damage on it from the other thing.
But then we got to see that engine fire off. That basically
it worked. Holy.
Pew, pew. And that other Ursula's like, I don't have any damage. You can't, please. And so she's still standing, but she's scared. She's absolutely trembling in her octopus 8 boots.
So now you did get 1 Ursula to survive. So that's a good sign for you, as you have to kind of figure out a way to get through this board. You now have the bow is set up. You have double Robin Hoods doing double duty on the board. This is not looking great for Dale. I'm not going to lie. You're going to have to figure out a way to get through this. This is tough. This is actually a great spot for Josh.
Yeah, and Josh he drew some really beautiful cards at really beautiful times. I mean, we talk about that Pete right before that Ursula could have sang a song twice. The whole new world there to get that bow and some other evil tools like the boom. So Josh has been doing exactly what his deck wants to do, while Dale has just been trying to stay afloat and be like, stop. And we'll see if this turn he can pull off that very, very, very necessary momentum shift.
Okay, so we're going to start here by letting the Storm Rage on. We'll get a double rage. We're probably, I'm assuming we're going to have to clear 2 characters, maybe get the Diablo and the Robin Hood, or maybe just put double damage on the Robin Hood. What are his stats? His stats are beefy too. He's got 5, so that's rough.
Yeah, and so I mean, for me, the Diablo and the Robin Hood are kind of the 2 that I'd be like, well, at least I can get rid of them, and they can't shift if I get rid of them. But it looks like he's going to do 2 Robin Hood, and then is he still deciding?
Yeah, you do get to draw first, make that decision, and we will go ahead and take out that Diablo just to take some characters off the board
and prevent them from becoming bigger problems, because we know that both of those can turn into a big problem any second.
And you're only sitting at 4 ink, so you don't have a Tinkerbell or anything like that. No shift option available. You'll just go ahead and ink the Hypnotize before revealing the hard casted Diablo and the Calhoun. So Calhoun will be able to strike back with the Robin Hood if they go into the Ursula, or if you probably take the Pete into the Ursula, clear that up, and then Calhoun can trade in, and then you'll hope for a better day with this with this Diablo if you can start getting some cards in.
Yeah, what I imagine he's hoping more than anything right now is there's not a big tink and there's not a grab your sword in Josh's hand right now, because that would be absolutely terrifying. If you could just get, and he's turning 6 sideways quite quickly.
And it was a Tinkerbell. Holy.
You hear that splash? It's the big fairy. She's here. She's a giant fairy, and
just like you drew it up.
She just like put a target on all 3.
And now we got the Robin's bow. This is incredible. Even though the bow will be able to not do any damage to the Calhoun, but questing that enough is going to be able to take down the Diablo if you felt so inclined.
Well, and it makes it so that Robin Hood then quests for 3. So, I mean, even the Calhoun not being, with that resist. Oh, I guess, yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. It made the Calhoun a 2. You're right. She put the 1. It tricked me, but yeah, you're right. She took no damage. Girl, she's fine. But he is slowly whittling away. Diablo's, or rather, yeah, that was Diablo. He's gone.
And then we'll be able to take down the Ursula as well, putting 2 back onto the Pete. So you had a nice rebuttal there, but Robin Hood's bow proved to be too mighty. And now you're going to be back against the wall again for Dale, as it's looking like this position might be unsalvageable here, just because the setup, this lock is too significant. The steel removal is too strong. The Robin Hood's bow is doing way too much. The big Robin Hood shift, I think, is just too strong. And I think you might have to start coming up with another plan for going into game number 2, it appears.
Which, I mean, that's such an interesting point, because after that first game, after that, like, you're blinded, you can't see anything. You're like, okay, now I know what you did, and I didn't like it. So now there is one Calhoun on the board. I won't discount this one Calhoun standing there by herself on a wooden table, but
yeah, but that
likely
12 to 0
12 is a lot.
It's a lot to come back from,
especially when 2 of those bodies are pretty beefy.
Absolutely, this is tough. I mean, maybe there could be a cricky, or I don't know. Sometimes they play cricky, and you can do some snapback and clear something. You just have to get these characters off the field. I think Bruno is an option as well if you can hard cast that, but still, that doesn't even feel too good, as you're going to go ahead and hard cast the Storm Rage on, it appears.
Which is, so he gets to draw 1 card, and in theory, ink something, and then he'd have 3 ink, but that's still rough, because I mean, we don't have Lorthor on board. We have technically that 1 Robin Hood only quest for 1, Pete quest for 1, Tinkerbell quest for 2, so that's 16. Lorthor's not there yet, but can Dale get something?
You can send this Calhoun in on a bonsai mission to take out this Robin Hood, which is finally going to get that menace off the board.
Yes.
And then you have 2 cards in your opponent's hand to work with. If you can whittle them down there, then you can maybe Bruno this Tinkerbell, as you're going to go ahead and ink the Sudden Chill. So maybe not going for the discard option.
Yep. All right. So he says, I don't know what you're up to over there, but please don't. Do not damage my characters. And then is he going to Calhoun and get a 2 lore and trade with?
Yeah. So we'll just Calhoun into the Robin Hood, clear him.
Yeah.
Add 2. I like it. And that's a good start. That's
a
good start.
It's a stabilizing maneuver. He definitely, we talk about, stop the, I don't know if you can say stop the bleeding, stop the banishing.
Yeah.
But in this case, we still got a big Tink, we still got a Pete, and 2 cards in hand.
Stop the pixie dust, I think.
Yeah, too much pixie dust.
You're losing too much of your pixie dust. You can't fly. We can work on it. We can shop it around.
Yeah,
we won't say no. We'll just say not right now.
Good.
Yeah. Shop it around. We won't say no. We'll just say not right now.
Yeah,
there it is.
Not right now. It's on the back burner. It's a maybe later. Now we got Dale. He's put Josh on his heels a little bit, because now Josh, that bow is a little bit less fun, because the bow is there to kind of, it's good to do damage, but it's not mostly one of the biggest benefits is synergy with Robin Hood, and that's out the window for a bit. But he says, what if I could get rid of some of your cards and not really discard, rather. Sorry. What if I could draw more cards? But he can't exert it this turn. So
as we set up another bow, so we're double bow duty right there, as we'll go ahead and quest for a total of 3. So now you're hoping you can get that last card out of hand, and you can't, as we're going to hang on to 1. So your Bruno will not strike true. If you can slam a Bruno, nap this Tinkerbell, but taking that gamble, putting that Tinkerbell back into the hand without a guaranteed discard feels risky. So this is tough.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Yeah, Dale has had tough decision after tough decision in this match, where he's been on the defense for most of this game, of just responding to what menacing things Josh has put on the board.
And not having that, just not having that guaranteed discard. There's a Bruno involved, and Dale's thinking about it. He might just rip it here anyway and see if you can get lucky. 50-50. If you nab the Tinkerbell, I think you just go ahead and pack it up and go next game, and then you come back strong. Now that you know what you're up against, it'll be a little bit, maybe you have a better opportunity to demonstrate a little bit better.
Yeah, and if he can, now he knows, if you see Robin Hood on site, no Robin Hoods, not here, please.
No fly zone.
But unfortunately, he's going to see a lot of Robin Hoods, because Josh has constructed the deck in a way where you're probably going to see him.
So we're still pondering here. I can't see how many cards are in Dale's hand at the moment. But it looks like we're going to slam another card to the inkwell. We're putting the talented Mr. Smee down to the inkwell, looks like we're holding 3, maybe 4 cards in hand, and we're going to Muses.
Now, Muses is a, let's see here. She's a 4 cost. They are a 4 cost rather. So he still has 3 ink he just inked something. So now he has 3 ink available. So
And
I'm assuming strength. It looks like he just dropped.
Okay, so this is pretty nice. You can hard cast the strength, send that 2-0 into Tinkerbell, bounce the Diablo, and then we can smack the Pete into the Tinkerbell for a trade up, which still I think that's a pretty good use of your units there. And you're leaving yourself with 2 cards in hand with a combat ready Pete coming in for next turn. So he's ready for another quest as well.
Yeah, and that Diablo, I mean, we all know the value of Diablo is when he's exerted. And so we just put a tempo there and say, not yet. So the Muses, they did a lot of heavy lifting there. And they have Ward. So they're feeling a little bit less scared as well. And now Diablo comes back. And he's also going to drop down
another one.
Yeah. And now for other people at home, because I know that we didn't all study our Robin Hoods this morning. This one is the Capable Fighter one from set 2, and it's exert, deal 1 damage to chosen character. So this deck is called Bows. So that's you're seeing why now.
So he's pinging, and then you're finishing it off with the freaking thing. But fortunately, like you said, for Muses, they have that ward, so you're not able to target them with any of those abilities. And now Dale needs to make something happen. I think if you're playing Tinkerbell as well, this would be a good opportunity to slam a Tinkerbell into the fray, and you're going to put another one of your enchanted Diablos into the field of play, which is a vulnerable target. He's getting popped immediately.
Yeah, if he makes it out. I mean, because if we look, still don't have, Diablo Quest for, so yeah, we still don't have Lorthal on board. However, we do know that Robin Hood could become a big Robin Hood any second. So he sudden chills is 1 card away, so not a Robin Hood there, so he might top deck a Robin Hood. That's the only way that he could win if that Pete survives.
Oh, but now the Muses can bounce the Robin Hood if he felt so inclined. Yeah. And you'll do that. Just to get
I'm scared. Please don't.
Just get him out of there. And then we're going to take down the Pete, it looks like, which is pretty good for you, as Muses can't be targeted with these bows. So Dale is trying to slowly crawl back into this thing. It's never over, but this could be the beginning of something if you can make it happen, as Diablo is going to quest for another mighty 1 and put you up to that 17 range, and then you'll be able to put that super threatening Robin Hood card back out. And that could spell demise here, but we'll get another
draw something. Maybe it's something spicier than the little baby Robin Hood. So first he's going to exert that Diablo.
And here he is, back at it again, and we'll put out another Diablo.
And he says, show me what you got. He's like, I just have 1 Ursula.
Oh, poor Ursula. That's not going to be enough.
Dale is really, his deck is bright. It's a lot of enchanteds in there.
It's not it's expensive. Okay. This is quite real.
Now, someone pointed out in the chat, this kind of mirror match, anytime I find you have any kind of discarding, any steely, grindy match like this, it can go long. So we're still in game 1. So you're wondering too if Dale's going to get to the point where he's like, okay, let's just go to the next game.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you've seen, I mean, he's kept Josh at bay for several turns now. So he doesn't have to, but he is going to Bruno that Robin Hood and say, all right, I got a 50% chance at it. I like to gamble.
Yeah, never give up, never surrender, always play it through. I think that's what all these champions do, man. They know when the position is lost, but you always see it through. You don't want to let your team down and yield when you probably could. If there's a 1% chance that you can win, you should try to win, as we rip the strength there.
Which is like a good and bad. I mean, Josh is less concerned with slowing down Dale than Dale is concerned with slowing down him, if that makes sense. So, and that Diablo turning sideways makes one think if he's going to get double, somehow he's going to, he can't with the strength. I'm thinking out loud and I'm like, wait, no, that bird's feeling comfy. That bird's not so scared right now.
Yeah, he's gonna keep resetting the tempo with that Muses, putting Diablo back into the hand. So you are going to get another draw here, and maybe you have some time to set something up. If that Robin Hood can stick and Dale can't keep drawing songs, it might be demise. But we've been saying that for the past few turns, and he's still around.
Yeah,
he's like, really... what's the guy's name from Snatch? The not Bullet Tony. What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Oh,
Snatch the Russian guy. I can't think of his name. Anyway,
I'll say Boris.
Boris the Blade. Boris the Blade.
Wow, I was right by guessing
You're right.
Boris. Wow,
His name was
Russia.
Boris. Boris
Russia,
the
it's good.
Blade.
Thank goodness they only have Vlad, Boris.
Boris
Sorry,
the-
Russia. Or not. I don't know. It depends who you are in Russia. Either way. So Josh was able to get out that it seems like he's played Diablo and Robin Hood probably 4 times now, and that might be accurate. And it does look like
You just need another song. You're gonna need another song, and you're gonna need to draw it. He had 2 opportunities to get there.
was that him looking at his discard? That
was just discard.
Oh, okay. I know, but it was such a whimsical way to look at your discard.
And you quest for another one. I mean, at a certain point, I'm like, man, I'm gonna send this Diablo into those musics, just get him off the field. I'm so sick of those musics. If I'm Josh, I'm like, dude, these musics gotta go. As we're just going to let them survive another turn. Maybe Dale can draw another song here. I think you're gonna kind of need to at this current moment.
Well, yeah, he is currently, as we say, at definitely Lorthal now. He's got more than that. So that means is to put in overtime tonight.
And it looks like Dale can't get it done. Dale can't get it done as we're going to go to a game number 2 as Cerberus Den is able to break the sweep. Still not out of the woods yet, but able to put a score on the board and going on and force another game or going into game number 2, trying to go in for the win.
Now, I know that sometimes it can be like, oh, you're probably going to lose. Go ahead and scoop. But what Dale is able to do by kind of playing there is see more cards. Got to be like, okay, so what are you up to? So there is a little bit of intel gathering by staying in there, being like, can I stop the bleeding? And then also kind of being like, what other tricks do you have? So now Dale has seen a lot of what Josh can do. He didn't see one card that is very surprising to see in Josh's deck. You don't always see it. It's a 2-drop, and I was surprised when I saw it in Josh's deck, and I'm wondering if Dale will be caught off guard with it too.
I'm looking at that card now, and I'm like, I didn't expect to see that.
And then on the other side, Dale has a couple cards that we didn't see this round that I'm like, okay. I mean, there's only one of each of them, but it's enough where it could make your opponent go, "Excuse me, what are you playing?" Now, 2 of them we've seen. One's a bug, one's a mammal, but the other one's a bigger mammal, and so I don't want to spoil too much. I don't know if we're allowed to.
Yeah, looking at Dale's deck, he's got a lot of one-offs, like a lot of cheeky one-offs, a lot of tilty, cheeky, make you want to jump off a window one-offs.
Isn't that Emerald in a nutshell? Emerald is just little, I call it whoopee cushions, where it's just kind of like, oh, you thought? Oh, you're going to discard. Oh, you're going to bounce something. Like, it's just all of Emerald is just trying to get your opponent to be like, what are you doing over there?
Little mini pies in the face, probably. Yeah.
Yes. Sticky Mickey he's ready to be there.
I love it. So going into the game number 2, Dale's going to be on the play this time. If you're not familiar with the ICL, the team that loses the previous round gets to determine who's on the play. So that was Cerberus Den Joshua. So now it's going to be on Dale, who is going to be trying to make up for some ground. Now you understand the matchup. I think you might have some. There could be some approaches that you can have now that you know exactly what you're up against. So we'll see what we're going to start off with as Diablo is going to take a sneak peek of the hand. You'll see
a 2. I mean, my goodness, that is. Does he have any? Okay, so he has a Robin Hood. That's the good news. So he's got some things to do. Obviously, that Robin Hood shift line now becomes so important to him because he can, turn one Robin Hood, maybe do a little boom, shift into another Robin Hood, something like that. If you take away the baby, that's going to make that shift line much harder. So Josh is feeling vulnerable right now.
And seeing that smash going to the Inkwell is probably good too. So if you do have a shift Diablo play, you can get that. I can't remember the hand. I've already forgotten everything that we just saw. I know I saw a few whole new worlds and whatnot.
I saw boom, but now I feel like maybe I hallucinated it was a smash. This is, Dale's got it though. And so Dale, he is going to say, I'm coming for one of those songs. Now, is he going to come for one of the 2 whole new worlds? He could have 2.
There is a boom there. Okay.
Okay,
so
good. Okay. Whew. I saw it.
Definitely blocking that Diablo shift, but I think you got to blow up the shift line. I think that shift Robin Hood, seeing whole new world, and you're right back into the blender. If you are Dale, you can't allow that to happen, as double whole new world is so unfortunate for Dale Bolito here.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a Ursula to do a reverse Uno, so Josh would have to top deck an Ursula to come around full circle. But we've seen Josh have some pretty lucky draws, but we'll see if he has it this time.
All right. So maybe Dale is holding second Ursula in hand, and then Josh draws third Whole New World would be complete comedy at this point, as you're still thinking you're going to ink the Baboom. You're just throwing it and throwing caution right into the wind. I guess you have no choice. You have to continue to advance your position as inking Baboom, getting your Diablo out of the way now as you move Robin Hood to the Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
Sherwood
So-
Forest is another card I know exactly what it does. Okay,
Do you want me to read it, or do you got it? 'Cause
I
you have
don't.
it memorized.
I'm
I
not
would
reading.
read it. Yeah, you have it memorized. Sorry.
My
sorry.
deep knowledge is so strong. It's something about your character named Robin Hood may move here for free. Characters gain ward and exert 1 ink, deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character while here. That's exactly what it does that I just did not read. I knew that off the top
It's
of my
really,
head.
I mean, yeah. So we got more Robin Hood damage dealing synergy, and now this is location. It's not gaining any lore, but it's you know
It's vibing hard.
it's a nice investment. Like we talked about
Mhm.
investments earlier. It's an investment card. Now Dale, or it's coming back around. He said, "I do have 2 Ursulas."
He did. Oh,
And I
wow.
absolutely resent now. Ooh, but he sees something a little bit different this time. He sees a grab your swords. which-
Another one. This was the same predicament that you were in last time.
exactly. Where he's like,
This-
what do I fear more? And in this case, he fears what he saw spell demise last time. So he says,
Mhm.
well, it's fine.
But now you still looks like you don't have the ability to break up that shift line though. So shift Robin Hood is inbound as you ink the strength.
Yeah. So now we know that it's tricky because he can shift the Robin Hood. He could sing swords, but that won't get him the questing ability yet. So
Mhm.
it kind of makes you wonder if he's going to shift the Robin Hood, let him hang out for a bit, because, you know, the minute he turns sideways, he does become vulnerable. So it's tricky. He can't really get that questing for 3 kind of thing, which even that Diablo couldn't hold damage. So really, you could only quest for 3 if for some reason somebody else
Yeah.
could sing it.
As we ink the Robin Hood, I guess you're still trying to advance your position. We'll shift into this Robin Hood, and then we're going to sing to grab your swords.
So
Very
he's-
interesting.
Now we are now in game 2. So it's kind of looking like a nightmare kind of recap here, where only this time there's 2 Ursulas holding damage. So now more than ever is Dale being like, I gotta get rid of that Robin Hood, dude.
Yeah, this is game number 2. So the winner, Joshua from Cerberus Den, won the first game using a very similar strategy that he's using right now. But this time you got the Sherwood Forest that's up and active on the field. So Dale needs to figure out a way to get through this thing. I'm sure he has more answers. That's what you're going to spam and slam 2 more characters onto the board, Morph and Calgoon. And then it looks like we're going to prepare to pass it back on over at this point.
Yeah, and I mean something that you mentioned, and I don't know if everyone memorized, but so Robin Hood gets to go to Sherwood Forest for free. So I'm assuming he's already in Sherwood Forest, because like if it's free, might as well go there.
That's your home.
But Dale has now set up what I like to call like the like hard to. I don't have no term for it, but it's not a fun board because you're like, well, what are you gonna do? Because now you're scared because you got a Calhoun threatening, you got a Morph that could be anything, and then 2 Ursulas, which don't scare me too much, I guess, in this deck because she cannot shift. But it is still a problem.
And it looks like Dale's going to go on a quest with these sea witches, man. They're just like, you know what? I'm getting busy living or getting busy dying. I like that attitude.
Well, especially because I mean, if you can't shift, you can't quest. Or sorry, you can't shift, you can't what's the other thing that you can do? Bounce. Then it's like I might as well do something.
Yeah, get them working. I like it.
They're not taking out the Sherwood Forest, unfortunately, with their 1 strength.
And
now it's Uno reverse.
Oh, so we get a little bit of a whiff there as we reveal the 1 card in hand is that beast. So we'll be able to set up the shift beast, and then we're going to sing swords on, or excuse me, strength onto the morph just to blow up the shift line there. And then are we gonna? Yeah, we're gonna sing and pass there.
Yeah,
So
because I mean, that's the hard part with having just 1 little guy out there is he can't do it all. He can't quest and sing and challenge. He has to pick. And in this case, he sang a little song and got rid of that morph to make it where that beast is now more expensive. Now, though, he has 4 ink, so he does have to draw an inkable card to play that beast now.
And it looks like he might not have gotten it, or maybe he's trying to get some value out of the card in hand first before deploying this beast in a later turn, depending on what it is. maybe you slam that thing into the inkwell, put this beast out. But out of all the decks that I've seen, I think this is probably the worst deck for a beast. All that ping damage all over the place.
Yeah,
with
he'd be
booms and smashes. He's never getting his thing off.
Yeah, he'll be able to hold a lot of damage in that body. But him being damaged isn't the worst because then he becomes a giant wrecking ball.
But we did top the Storm Rage on. So Storm Rage on is going to be able to put some damage onto potentially. No, we're going to go after the Sea Witch Queen. And then let's see. So not going after Robin Hood, not trying to get this thing out of Sherwood. Or he's got ward. That's right. It gives him ward there. So he can't target this thing.
Yeah, that's rough. So he quite literally is saying, I'm sorry, Ursula. I really need this. I need this card so bad.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Dude, the synergies are just synergistic. They
Yeah.
get ward.
So, but the good news is they all band together and they say, let's work together. Got 2 lore and got rid of that Robin Hood. So he didn't have ward, but you cannot be, he couldn't hold off 3 angry ladies.
Dude, I can see I want to see the imagery of that. I just imagine when these characters are challenging and banishing each other, like it looks like them all doing it together. So I
Yeah,
can just see,
right.
like,
And it's just like
2
tentacles
Ursulas and a
and a
Calhoun
lady
just
with
like
a machine gun.
tackling a Foxman in a forest. That's the imagery I see there.
Yeah, Bro Hamilton's trying to bully us into doing push-ups. I don't think I can. So,
We gotta do
or I could.
push-ups? This is
I haven't
ICL
tried.
night. There are no points. You gotta
Yeah.
pay. Wonderland's gonna pay those for it tomorrow or the next Wonder stream.
The next
Lock
Wonder
those
Stream.
in. You're
The
gonna
next
get
trip down the
Wonderland's gonna
rabbit
pay
hole.
those out. Yeah, the next trip down the rabbit hole, he's gonna pay those out in full. Put the hat back on. I did. I had to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, R&B. I'm not dedicated. I'm not a dedicated bald. I'm not as brave as you.
As we know, Bangs is the opposite of bald, and so that's why he didn't. It's like he felt. Yeah, we've all. So I'm a little worried here. You might say, Katie, why are you worried? We're at 23 minutes. We're at 5-1, and I think they each have 1 card in hand. So now it's kind of just a race of who's going to get cooler cards. It's not great.
That's it. It's a grindhouse. I like it. It's
Yeah,
a
well, I
green
mean-
steel mirror grindhouse.
It's not okay. So I don't like ties. How do you feel about ties? Because I
hate
don't.
ties.
Okay, because I mean,
More than anything in the world.
yeah, because it's like, ooh, I don't know. So
I can't stand a tie. Ending in a tie would be the worst case scenario.
It would.
So I'm sure the players are playing with some speed and some pace. Maybe we can get through this thing. There might be time if we can get, I would say, if we can finish this one in the next 7 minutes and get like a 20-minute, or how much time is left? No,
I mean, 22 minutes. So they
We're
got it.
22 minutes now. Never mind.
We gotta cook. We gotta
Gas pedal.
slap. One time I went to a Japanese card store and there was like 20 people playing a TCG I've never seen before, and it was so quiet, no one talking, but all you heard was slap, 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 slap. It was just cards slapping and turning, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Did you get a name? What was the name of it?
Oh, I went to approximately 30 to 50 trading card game stores because I was looking for a specific card. So I went to just like a billion stores. I don't know. So who knows where I was.
Okay. So it looks like we got a Sherwood Forest pop off there as it was able to take down the Calhoun through resist and everything. This is crazy. As we bring out the beast here, full value, maybe this beast can start drawing some cards and turn the tides of battle as you're staring down one Ursula
in a forest. Yeah, my brain didn't even comprehend that. You're like, yeah, she's in the forest. I'm like, okay. And then that's a thing. Now she has ward. She can deal 2 damage.
Yeah.
But now we got Big Boy Beast and a Morph, which, as we've learned, could be several things. He's just simultaneously useless and very useful.
As we do get a double draw from B, so this is starting the takeover here. As this green steel deck is like a slow boa constrictor, especially this more traditional model that Dale is using. I know there's been evolutions to this deck as well, just like every other deck in Lorcana. This one has evolved and became more aggressive, lower to the ground. Type strategy that you see that Luke played and like what Zan Syed played, but Dale's playing like the more traditional version, and it's a slow burn. It's not a quick thing. It takes a little bit of time to set up the vice, but when it closes in on you, it's over.
The momentum can shift pretty drastically, especially with some of those discard things going on, as well as like we're seeing now a card draw.
Look at that. That's
and
crazy.
Now card draw shut down. Well, now you get 1 card just like you're supposed to.
And you're going to lose this beast as well because of the Sherwood Forest is just doing money numbers as you're going to exert both of these characters to take out
That is
the
really
beast.
rough.
That is strong, man. Holy, that's just like you had the momentum and the air just got let right out of your sails as you're going to pass back on over. So Dale's got to make something happen here. We'll jam the Pete. Is Ursula going to sing?
I don't know. Does she have anything to sing? How many? He had 2 cards, right?
He had 2. He had 3 last turn.
Okay.
So now he should have 2, I want to say.
It's so scary.
Let's see it. Oh, we got nothing to sing. We're just going to pass back on over.
Yeah, that's a little nerve-wracking here because
So the Tinkerbell here is violent. Oh my goodness, no Tinkerbell. Not like this.
nope, doesn't look like it. We got something that costs Diablo. Why not? Get in here, Diablo.
And hop into the woods. Everybody's just kicking it in the woods.
We got an appendix, Ursula, and a bird just hanging out in the Sherwood Forest. No Robin Hoods. They're gone.
And appendix is crazy. Oh my goodness. Is that what Morph is? Is that canonically accurate?
To me, he looks like an appendix that's like, I'm free. That's what I see whenever I see Morph.
Is he a human appendage? Okay, so that is an organ. I never thought of
a liberated one, of course.
A freed,
happier than he's ever been.
A freed organ. Love to see it.
Love to see it. All right. So now we've got less than 20 minutes. I hope, like, did you ever play Sonic when you were little and like you start drowning? It goes.
Wow. You gotta get to the bubble.
Yeah.
That's what we sign up for. A little bit of Sonic theme song. We go to a little temple area. You got the bubbles.
So
I'm there. Oh,
Sonic will keep you motivated. It's gonna.
Oh, that is a draw.
Yeah. So he finally was able to get rid of the forest, which probably feels very good because that forest was not fun. So that's out of here.
So now we got some activity here as Ursula is going to be able to double seeing the strength. We're going to blast the Diablo. We're going to lock and load. Did we get to sing it twice? What happened there?
So Strength of Raging Fire.
Well, he hard cast it because he had to take down the Sherwood Forest with the 2 characters, and then he played Strength hardcore mode onto the Diablo. And Tinkerbell's out here. Oh my goodness, this Tinkerbell's vicious.
Yes. Now, luckily, the Tinkerbell is feeling a little less confident now that. Oh.
And we'll trade up the Morph into the Ursula just through combat. You don't see that happen too often either. Morph.
No, and I guess
his claps in.
He could have shifted that Tinkerbell on, but in this case, he was able to use that Morph as like a little torpedo. And if he doesn't have any other shift cards in hand, which I don't think he has any cards in hand, then sure, that's probably
or I don't think he has any. Yeah, there's no cards in hand, so he didn't have any ink to save. Just said,
no
why
plan.
Not?
He said, "My only plan is to use you as a human wrecking ball." So good luck.
But it looks like the Pete's are not going to be able to do anything in the face of this Tinkerbell, who is just devastating. But you are in top deck mode, so Bruno is extra strength Tylenol strong. We got the Ursula is going to continue to quest. You can smack this Ursula, but you will lose both your Pete's in the process. And Josh recognizes that and just elects to get a free lore in with this Ursula. And now you got it. This is Bruno time. If you got Bruno, this is a great Bruno. Do you have it? Are you good enough to play Bruno right now?
Yeah, and to Drizzer 14. Yeah, I think the reason he didn't shift was just knowing that he's top decking. So at the end of the day, he could only deal. He doesn't want to like get more damage on Tinkerbell than necessary. So using Morph as a two damage hit seemed more safe to him. It sounds like.
Morph can transform, so he just transformed Morph into a baboon there. And you're going to just hard cast, grab your sword. It's very, very strong.
Which now Tinkerbell can go. And now I'm questing because now Tinkerbell fears nothing.
Goodness. That was a backbreaker. That was a blow. That was a blow to end all blows.
It was.
Now we have the top decking moments. Oh,
it's top decking again. We talk about strength of board. I mean, we would argue Josh has a stronger board. It's not the strongest board I've ever seen in my life, but that Robin Hood could become a better Robin Hood any moment. He cannot. He's gone. He was just strength or let the Storm Rage on. Lets him draw a card, and he does play an Ursula, and he shows nothing, some empty phalanges. So yeah, he played a Storm to get rid of that Robin Hood, to get rid of that shift potential, and an Ursula to just get her out there. Why not?
This spot is looking rough. Cinderella is so strong. We got the hidden cove. So you got your forest. I got my cove. And I'll put my guys in it. No, it looks like Ursula's still hanging out on the outside of the club. Can't quite get in just yet. And we're just going to pass it back on over to this very formidable Tinkerbell. and you're just hoping that that Josh keeps playing cards, and we are going to spam and slam the Ursula. What is the hand? Don't be Bruno. It's not Bruno. It's Cricky. So you will be able to maintain your Cricky, which is quite good. You can't even afford to exert this Tinkerbell now. You're going to have to do some heavy lifting with these Ursulas because that Cricky can just jump off the deck, jump right in and clap you up with this Ursula. So you can't even quest.
So we see it. It's rough. Dale keeps playing. Show me your cards, and he's like, "Show you what?" So, not the strongest things you ever want to see early. But man,
yeah,
it's not. Neither of these players are where they want to be.
So now you're debating on if you exert any of these characters, you're gonna exert here. You're gonna take down. You're gonna do a little bit of challenge and banish onto the Ursula now. I guess that's a pretty even fair trade, and you're gonna try to see if you can coerce your opposition to exert this Tinkerbell, either challenge it to the Cove or maybe even go into your Ursula. It's not gonna be strong enough to take out the Diablo, and then the Cricky can trade back in, and you can win back this board. That Tinkerbell is the anchor holding it all together, and then this little dude shows up. Ooh.
Yeah, and as we know, that one is one that can deal 1 damage to a damaged character. Or rather, I think he can just do whoever he wants. He doesn't.
Yeah, I think he just hits. Yeah, I think
because all the other ones have like, "Hey, you better be damaged." But this one, he's like,
"I don't care. Whatever. I'm fine. Be damaged, be not damaged. It don't matter." And this is an interesting spot, and you're just going to pass here. So you did buy yourself another turn, and the board now will be able to remove that hidden cove, and that might throw some of your combat math off, as Dale needs to make something happen here sooner than later. Where is your Bruno? How many Brunos does this deck play? I remember this deck used to play like, maybe it's just playing one. I don't know. But it seemed like a Bruno would be perfect in this scenario.
He's got a few Brunos
He's got quite a few Brunos. Okay, we don't talk about them. We don't see them. We don't draw.
We're not going to talk about how many Brunos. You never talk about how many Brunos. All right, so we got the Forest is back out, which, as we know, somebody's moving there for free, and some other people might move there.
Yeah, this might be a game-ending situation here. I think this might be a GG type move, as you're able to ping damage severely, and then ping everything and just clear you might be able to do a board clear here. Let's see if that's how it goes.
Yeah, and I'm reading Sherwood Forest again. So yeah, characters gain ward, and then for 1 and tapping the character or exerting them rather, you can deal 2 damage. So it's kind of it's rough because you don't get to ready afterwards, so you don't get to quest, but you can wipe the board. So yeah, you're right. It's kind of what does he fear here?
Wait, hold on. He might not be able. Can he wipe the board? Because he's got to be able to. He can ping 1 onto one of the characters. He can Sherwood for 2. Sherwood for 2. I don't think he can clear them both. He might be able to clear 1, and you got to clear them both, I think. So I think it looks like you're going to go after the Sherwood, the hidden cove here to weaken those characters.
Yeah, that's true. Because once that's gone, then he can definitely do a lot of work. So the hidden cove it's only 6, so it's not the hardest thing in the world to get rid of. So he's like, all right, I'll start my investment now. And also, while I'm here, put damage on some other characters, just in case, maybe this Robin Hood turns into something where that's beneficial.
Okay, so we will be able to reduce the Oblo. So you took the bait, and now you can get your quickie. I can't talk. I cannot say Cricky. There it is. We're gonna get your Cricky value going a little bit. You'll be able to trade the Ursula into the Tinkerbell, but is that even good now at this point? As you'll be able to base boost the Ursula. Ursula trades down into Tinkerbell.
Yeah, gives her that +3. Now that's a +4. So will that actually take down the Ursula?
Yeah, because Ursula gets +3 plus. Is that
1? Yeah, that's only 4 damage, right?
Oh, even at the Cove. What about the Cove? It's +3 plus the Cove.
Oh, is 1. Sorry, the Cove. I'm losing math here.
5. Yeah. It's a lot of math.
So,
hey, I'm not a math major.
5.
Okay, I'm terrible at math.
So he's still deciding though. But he is okay. No, he's like, yes, that works. Maybe they were doing the same math we were, where they're like, no, that's 4. No, it's 5.
Yeah, I think Josh might have did some math wrong. Probably made the same mistake that we both made.
Yeah,
we forgot about the Cove, because you could have maybe moved that Ursula into the Sherwood Forest and did a little bit more damage there and kept her Tinkerbell upright.
Dancer did point out that 2 plus 3 equals 5. So thank
you. Say that again. Say that one more time.
2, this many plus this many. Equals 5. So,
ain't no way. How's that possible?
I don't know.
Ain't no way.
So Josh is now sitting here going, can I get this win? Because basically it's at the point where Josh needs to just win, or it's probably going to be a tie because I can't imagine a situation where we're going to get through a third game. So now it's kind of a race. We do know that if it goes to time, it's the standard 5 turns after we go to time. But he's just moving everybody into the forest, saying, "Hey guys, sit tight and let's see what Dale's going to do."
Yeah, I think you got to get this Robin Hood off immediately. I'm talking instantaneous combustion. He's got to go because he's going to ping, and then everybody else is going to quest and pop your guy, and then you're just going to be up the creek without any type of paddle. We just move Cricky over to the other cove. That's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Maybe you do want to get rid of my coves. You're not. I got coves everywhere.
I think you're more concerned about Cricky's. I think you might have to just quest, as crazy as it might sound, because there's really nothing. All those characters have ward. There's nothing you can do. No Bruno, no anything. You can't interact with ready characters either. This is a nightmare scenario for Dale. This seems very bad.
Cricky's a 3/4, and so I mean, if he turns sideways, he becomes very vulnerable. He's already pretty vulnerable.
Yeah,
as we're about to see here with a Strength of the Raging Fire, and he's a 3/4, which is now a 4/5.
And now he's cooked.
And now he's nothing.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Now he's a roasted cricket.
He's vaporized. Oh my goodness, the lucky cricket, not so lucky.
2 coves is not enough to win you the game, unfortunately. It's not gaining lore. It's not really doing anything other than making Smee a 4/4, which is pretty cool.
And all those characters, you're just going to keep. This is a pretty nasty lock that you have here because you can ping with Robin Hood, remove with everyone else, and it's just like eventually you're going to run out of cards.
Oh wow! So there's a Bruno and a Storm. So that's actually
you can't do anything. Though. That's pretty bad because you can't.
Well, that one little Diablo. Well, no, he's about to go to the forest too. That's really sad. That's so sad to have songs and nowhere to see a song in your heart, but your Ariel relates to this.
Yeah, this is a nasty lock because everybody's warded up, and you really don't have. This is a nightmare scenario. You just have to play the Storm onto the Diablo. You just didn't have enough ink to move it to the Sherwood Forest, but this is looking pretty grim. We'll play the Ursula for no value, and just set another character up to get sent off to the discard pile. It seems because there's really nothing you can do. I guess you can stop your opponent from questing. But they'll just continue to keep blasting all your characters and keep adding more characters to the fray.
Now, Josh has drawn consistently the weeniest of characters for the past 5 turns. So that's the only sad thing is, Josh is like, okay, I've got this great position. I've got people hiding in the forest. And it's truly the weeniest of weenies of only questing for 1. He can't shift that morph. So they're safe, but I'm sure he's like, come on, please. Can I get something to quest for more than 1?
And it's Prince John. You got somebody with ward. So this could be something. I mean, it's still just too late. He's too weak.
Yeah, Prince John's hard by himself.
Yeah. I guess you can. Is that Robin Hood in the forest as well? The smaller Robin Hood?
He moves her for free. So
that's right. Yeah, he absolutely is. You're right. Oh my goodness. That is some synergy.
Yeah, so they're all hiding in the forest going, hey.
Yeah.
And he's tapping. So wow, he's hard casting it. So now why wouldn't he shift? Let's think there. I guess more bodies go wide. Yeah.
Go wide, yeah. I think just ensure
and they're in the forest.
They're all in the forest. You can't literally can't engage with these cards at all.
That's true. So he's like, what? I'm not afraid of you. We're all in the forest of protection and healing. And now he's got absolute Lorthal on board.
Yeah.
And that's game. And that was rough. And now I'm excited though.
I believe
that deck, man. That seemed I've not seen that before.
Yeah, that was the longest game I've watched so far, as far as turns go.
Yo, we are here. We are live. We have the players in the building right now. Yo. Can you guys hear us? Josh and Dale.
Yep.
Yo, GG's. First of all, Josh, I got to say, thank you so much for your participation. I thought the deck was absolutely insane. I thought it was really cool coming out and playing. Just really quick, can you just I like to hear your thoughts on this deck. How long have you been playing this Robin Hood, Sherwood, max ping, do your thing, damage based strategy?
I've been doing it for a little bit now. Past few sets, I've been trying to get it to work. The biggest thing that changed with this past set that made me think, oh, maybe I can actually take this set champs or something was Go-Go. But yeah, I've been having a blast. We have a lot of Amber Steel Zone players in our area, so when I saw this, I was like, oh, maybe this is the answer to stop all these crazy zones getting out of control.
Yeah, and you didn't
And
even get to fire off that go-go, which I'm sure that was one thing I was like, oh my gosh, you have that in your pocket where you have all these little things dealing damage, and then go-go's like, let me in. So that we didn't even get to see her go-go.
that's really cool. I thought that deck was awesome. I'm definitely going to try it myself because it can like it really has a hard time. I mean, it really will give Steel, as we saw with Dale. We'll bring Dale in here in just a moment. The Steel, he really couldn't do anything there at the end, especially when you had so many warded characters and he had so many direct action stuff. So I think the deck is really cool. I'm glad to see that you brought something spicy and it just so happened to work out in this tournament.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
no,
Dale, sorry, Katie, go ahead.
no, I got excited. No, don't
yeah.
you ask Dale. Dale brought you into Lorcana. Josh brought me into Lorcana. Dale brought you in. So what do you got for him?
Dale, baby. Oh
Oh.
man, I was singing your praises to the Mountain Dew. You know I'm a
You
huge
was.
fan. You know I'm a huge. You
Yeah.
know I'm a Dale supporter. I'm a Dale cheerleader, and I wanted you to go out there and get to the absolute Dublinskis. You know I'm glad to see you back in playing. I know you took a break from Lorcana for a while, and coming out here for the ICL, playing for the Forbidden Mountain. First, I got to ask, how did that even happen? What's with you in the Forbidden Mountain? How did Dale end
Oh,
up with Dan in the Forbidden Mountain and Dick Burns?
me and Dan and Dick go all the way back to, I think, Chicago is when I
Mm-hmm.
met. I played Dick in a tournament, and um dude, these guys are great.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of them going into the event or going into Lorcana. They're one of the first content creators, if not the first. Them and the Goons that I was watching, and dude, I want to meet them, and they're great people.
Absolutely. I think it's a good fit. I think you're a talented player. They're a talented team. So I'm glad to see you back in and playing with that team. And I'm sure you're going to come back strong and have some great effects. But talk to me about this nightmare scenario of a match that you just had
This
to run
is yeah,
into.
this is naturally a rough matchup. Anything with Ward. Um, I've been I made one misplay already. I could already see it. Was the
Hmm.
turn that I quested with two Ursulas. If I swung both Ursulas into the cat into I think into Sherwood Forest, I could have finished it off a little bit sooner. Same with maybe the Beast, but he drew I think it was a Baboom and then finished off Beast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, was there a point
Yeah,
that you were like,
something along those lines.
were you a little caught off
Yeah.
guard by this specific deck? Because I imagine that, I've not played against the Robin Hood deck. Have you been against this matchup?
I played against a Robin Hood deck in set 3. So set
Okay.
3 is when Bo got released, and
Hmm.
that's when, or set 4, when Bucky was still around. So Bucky Diablo and this. Oh, sorry, no, I'm wrong. In set 3, and the Bo was good versus Ursula 3 back then. So I kind of knew what it did. The only newer card is Sherwood Forest, and Ward in any steel matchup is unreal. It probably shuts down a third of my deck.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And if I don't get, I mean, I have a few answers for Sherwood Forest. Like I was playing Scar.
Yes, that was
Hmm.
So
one
I
of the
was
cards that I
playing,
saw that was kind of like, ooh,
yeah. And that's a card for kind of like this matchup where if I could find it, it's a warded character. Um,
That is spicy.
Warded character with four health, and it would help to take down the Sherwood when I need to.
yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Part of it, if
watching them. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, finish your thought.
Oh, it was the problem with this matchup for me is I need to obviously find Diablo to draw into my deck a little bit more because I play a lot of tech cards, one-ofs. But if the draw engine doesn't get going, um, and I can't dig deeper into my deck with uh Storm, and he has no cards in hand and strength because he commits to the board, it makes it just really hard to dig if I don't find Diablo. And yeah, I mean, great deck,
Yeah.
good choice. Played very well.
Yeah, watching them all hide in the forest, I was like, that's dastardly that they're all just in
Yeah.
the forest. Like, you can't. And I was like, my goodness, that's got to be annoying, especially when you have them use as all these things to deal. When you showed your hand and there was we don't talk about Bruno and let the Storm Rage on, I was like, that probably feels very bad to have those in your
That feels
hand.
terrible. And on the opposite side of that, going back over to Josh, you sit there and you got this seemingly unsurmountable freaking lock set up. You got the ping Robin Hood, you got the Sherwood Forest, everyone's in there, they're all warded, and you can just start doing massive damage to the entire board. So any card Dale puts out, you just get rid of it. So I like this deck a lot. Did you take this to a set champ, and how did it perform over there?
I do okay at set champs. In general, the joke is I'm the bridesmaid in the group because I have topped 8, or once we needed the top to get that, I was starting to get 9th place. So it's pretty consistent in what it does. It's obviously if it faces multiple a good red blue player can beat this. I can usually take out a okay red blue player if I can get a, like you mentioned, that lockdown, and they got the Hirams and the Tamatoas with Go-Go, where I let it get all the way up to like 5 or 7 on a Tamatoa and then Go-Go. But yeah, it's very hit or miss still, sadly, because of the red blue being so prevalent. Thankfully, that was round 1 of here, so that was the big sigh of relief for me. It's like, oh, red blue's out of the way. I was like, I feel better.
Very nice, very nice.
Tonight you were the bride. You know, you said you're always the bridesmaid. Tonight you were the bride.
The deck is bows in the hood, is what we.
Bows in the
hood. Well, they were all in the hood tonight.
I like it. That's pretty funny. But we got set 7 coming out. I think both you guys are going to be able to update your decks and change the strategy a little bit, add some new set 7 cards in there, and maybe we can come back in. So I think maybe not the next round, but maybe I think maybe a portion of the ICL tournament should be in set 7 if I'm correct. I don't know. You might have to correct me if I'm wrong, Katie. Yeah, so there will be some set 7 cards. So I would like to see what these strategies end up. I would like to see what both of these strategies can do going on into the rest. Katie, you got any more questions you want to ask? I'm sorry, I'm jumping all in there.
Now I'm looking and seeing, like, are there more Robin Hoods? Are there any cards that you guys are like, oh, I'm going to soar high on this new card? Are there any that you're looking to tech into your decks?
Go ahead, Dale.
I don't know if there's any Robin Hoods.
Okay.
Well, he gets, I think, a little bit of benefit with the ones that can challenge ready characters now. I think there's a place for Scar in this Sherwood deck because it's another draw engine if you want to challenge. But for Greensteel, I need to see what other decks look like before. So
okay.
I mean, I like a lot of cards, but similar into I said, I really like Go-Go, but Go-Go became mostly an afterthought in Greensteel. Where when it was launched, it was kind of heralded as the best card in the set. So
I love Go-Go.
I just have to see how the meta reacts.
Okay. It's
Sadly, the new
gonna come out
for Robin Hood. I got a blue Robin Hood that's like support or something generic, but
come on.
I don't know. I'm also a blue steel player, so I'm pretty excited with the whole Bell shenanigans that might be going on. So I am very excited to see what happens with that.
All right. I think we're all pumped for set 7. We can't wait for it to happen. But I just want to say from me and ICL and Katie, I can't speak for Katie. I mean, maybe Katie doesn't believe me, but I really appreciate you guys coming out and demonstrating your ability and playing. Dale, you didn't win the battle, but your team won the war. And Josh, you came out and saved your organization's pride and got the dub here over Dale in a tough fought, well played match. Any special shout outs you guys want to give? We'll start with you first, Dale, before we wrap this thing and sign it on off.
To Forbidden Mountain, letting me play with them. Always love playing with all the guys on the team. My team, my actual team, World Class Cards, SLTC, like the whole community, everyone I've ever met. You've made this journey great thus far, and can't wait for season 2. And yeah, all the casters, everyone that runs ICL. You're keeping the competitive community alive while everyone waits in the wings for season 2.
Nice.
You ended the night on a high note. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
I mean, just a general Cerberus Den. I know Dan was giving us some crap earlier last week about how large our community is, and I take a lot of pride in that. We're not necessarily the best players, but the Cerberus Den was a store if people didn't know. So we don't have the physical store anymore, but I definitely, like I said, very much enjoy still getting to play with everyone and travel ever as much as we can. So yeah, everyone who plays with us, hopefully we keep shuffling up our team who gets to play each time, because there's so many who are just itching to get to play in something like this too and get the opportunity. And to play someone like Dale, for example. Good games, Dale. I had a lot of fun with you, but like I said, the opportunity to get to play with people that you normally may never see. I won't make it to day 2 at a DLC, so I might not see him as often.
Nice, nice, and I like that. I like that. I got to ask one more question before I do let you go. How many copies of Cerberus do you have? I heard you have the record. Is that true?
Mhm.
I do, so foil wise, I think we're at 194.
Jeez.
Wow.
Now, what's nice and fun that just add a whole nother element to this is people are starting to ask me like, "Man, I'm opening up all these set 1 Chinese and Japanese. Do you want the foil Cerberus of that?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." Like
Obviously.
I think I need like a picture frame for each language at this point now. So
Okay. I think I have some I have to add to that collection, man. But again,
I
thank you for your performance. It was stellar, and I like that deck. I will be playing that deck. I'm stealing your deck, and I'm going to take it in my own travels, and hopefully it fares me as well as it did for you.
thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, all right,
Awesome. Thank you guys.
all right.
Absolutely.
Well, Miss Katie, it's always a pleasure to be with you on the ICL nights.
Uh-oh.
With you in the program. Thank you for allowing me to share this space with you, as always. Where can I find you if I want to see more of you?
Me? I didn't hear you for a second, but if you want to find me, go to the Lore Keepers Inn. That's who you're asking about, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay,
asking.
thank goodness. Okay, yeah. Then, so yeah, you'll find me at the Lore Keepers Inn. You'll find me on YouTube and Instagram and Blue Sky and sometimes Twitch. I'm gonna try to stream. It's scary,
go.
but I'm gonna try. Watch a lady struggle on a computer. How fun is that? What
I'm
about
sure you
you?
do.
Everybody knows because you've already signed off once.
I did sign off once.
But
I
now
signed
it's a
off once,
second.
and
Now
then
it's for
James
real.
Browned it and flipped the cape off and came back in.
Yeah,
But
he said,
JDZ Quest, I'm on Twitch. I stream almost every day. I'm on YouTube. I upload probably like once or twice a week, and I'm here. So come on out and enjoy this journey with us as we're trying to proceed. ICL is going to be back on Friday, right? Producer, who's going to be on the arena on Friday?
Oh, Friday. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
Maelstrom.
So make sure you guys tune in Friday. It's going to be Maelstrom versus Portal coming at you guys live and direct. The new and improved Maelstrom versus
Yeah, well,
Portal.
and it's the final of the round.
The
Yeah, so
Portal.
it's the final of the round. So people, this is big. This is it's the first round after this. Now we got rivalries. Now we got beef. And
Mhm.
like you said, it's the squeaky. You're gonna like when you walk into a new car, you're like, oh, that's gonna be when you see Maelstrom walk in. It's gonna be like, oh, that smells really nice.
All right. I love it.
Why,
I
thank
love
you
it.
for that.
All right. All right. Oh,
I think
well.
he says we're gonna raid, not we're gonna wave. I think, or are you saying we're gonna wave or rave?
It's that wave.
Okay,
Wave, we're gonna
wave
rave.
because we're raiding. Okay, this is it. Bye.